Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Progressive presents Renters MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Emily Neal's 70-inch TV. Because after watching her second-grade students yell at each other for hours, there's nothing Emily enjoys more than watching super-rich housewives also yell at each other. Why? Because those women are not her responsibility. And that's why her TV is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
You know it. Your neighbors know it. And let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was. And even better. Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
Your home for everything Arizona Wildcats. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290, KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio 1290.
And a great Friday afternoon to you. We have reached the end of another week. What is this now? 6 weeks already into this new year? Happy St. Valentine's Day. Hope you've got something nice and planned with your honey tonight. Take her or him out for a nice dinner, or better yet, cook a dinner. Why deal with all the amateurs, as we like to say, that are going to be out packing the restaurants tonight? Just cook at home. Go out, buy a nice steak or nice filet or something of that nature, or fish, salmon. I don't eat fish. My wife eats fish. She would not want me to cook her fish. Let me tell you. I leave because I don't eat fish, so I definitely don't know how to cook it. And I can't stand the smell of it. So I would never try to cook fish for my wife. She does like me to cook steaks for her, so I'll do that. We had steaks earlier this week. I did not cook them, though. Our friend from Ohio, Sue, cooked them. She's been with us now for 10 days. Her last night here in Tucson. She has enjoyed this beautiful weather immensely. Now she's got to go back to the cold of Cleveland. Sorry about that, Sue. Hope you had a great time here with us. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Last week on this very show, the Friday show, we were talking about the unbelievable night that Arizona Wildcats softball redshirt senior Devin Netz had at the plate in the season opener against Michigan State. Devin Netz hit 3 home runs in 3 at-bats. Not too bad, not too shabby. Well, Miranda Stoddard last night said, well, I'm going to try and maybe do one better on Miss Devin Netz. A doubleheader last night for Arizona softball against South Alabama, University of South Alabama, also known as USA, although their nickname is the Jaguars. Miranda Stoddard put on a clinic. Let's start with what she did in game 1.
This one sky to left center, Lively racing over. It's gone. That's how you wake up the bat. Stoddard, left center, a 2-run bomb, her first home run of the year. All-Nuri and named SEC Freshman of the Year, and she's done it again. The outfielders watch it go. Nobody moves. Another home run. 2 home runs today for Miranda Stoddard, her first 2 with Arizona.
Not bad for Miranda Stoddard. Her first 2 home runs as an Arizona Wildcat. Miss Stoddard started her career. She's a grad student, so she's not a young player. Started her career at Kentucky. played here, though, last year, appearing in 44 games, primarily as a pitcher. In fact, did she hit much at all last year? She did a little bit of hitting, but not a lot. She had 20, well, actually, no. She had no plate appearances last year as a hitter for Arizona. So
Now,
the 6 games that she started this year, she's only had 12 at-bats. So these are the first at-bats of her Arizona career.
I was reading about her history, and she left the SEC and decided that she was done, right? So she went on to California to get into a career.
Yeah.
And was kind of done with softball and had taken a year off, DK. So maybe that year off is what led to maybe her not taking any at-bats last year and just focusing primarily on pitching, because I know she had been a little rusty.
Yeah. So game 1, the Wildcats win it 7-6 over USA. And Miranda Stoddard, 3 for 3, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, 2 runs scored. So the pitching, she started on the bump, allowed 3 earned runs on 3 hits, pitched 4 1/3, struck out 4, didn't walk any batters. Again, I think the standout, although this Wildcat pitching staff at times is giving up some hits and some runs in some of these games, they aren't walking a lot of batters. And that's, to me, what I like to see. You know, I can take you giving up a few hits here and there, but it's the walks that obviously absolutely drive any coach or pitching coach crazy. So Devin Netz got the win in relief, 2 1/3, 1 run, 2 hits, 1 strikeout for Devin, in relief of Miranda Stoddard and Ryan Maddox in game 1, which the Wildcats won 7-6 on a sacrifice fly. They were actually down. I'm sorry, it was tied. It was tied going into the bottom of the 7th. And Paige Dimmler, a sacrifice fly to score Sydney Stewart, was the game winner for Arizona. Then we go to game 2 of the doubleheader against South Alabama, USA. And here's Miranda Stoddard some more.
Defensive positioning later in the game as this one's lifted to center field, pushing Lively back to the wall, and it's gone. A 2-run blast, 3 home runs in 2 games for Miranda Stoddard. Her first 3 home runs with the Cats makes it 5-0 in the first. Arizona pounces. The 2-2 is sent out of here. That is a no-doubter 3/4 of the way up the stands in left field. A 2-run shot. 2 home runs in game 1, 2 home runs in game 2, 4 home run day for Miranda Stoddard.
So Miranda Stoddard, 4 home runs, 7 runs batted in. I mean, she was absolutely marvelous. 6 hits total in the 2 games for the Arizona Wildcats, and they won that game a lot easier than the first. 15-0 in a run rule affair. Brooke Mannon, 2 shutout innings. Now, Brooke did walk 3, so we don't want to see that. But Aisa Silva came on 3 shutout innings, a no-hitter, a combined no-hitter for Brooke Mannon and Aisa Silva, a 5-inning run rule no-hitter over South Alabama as the Wildcats improve their mark to 7-1. Awesome ball game for Miranda Stoddard, who played a little bit of first base, but was also the designated hitter in that game. So the ladies are back at it today. Now, it's again, the weather has changed the schedule over with this tournament. So they are actually playing right now. At least I don't know. They're scheduled to play right now. There's games before this, obviously, so I don't know if the game is actually started, but they were scheduled to play Cal State Fullerton in a game that's at 3 o'clock today. And then tomorrow against Ohio, and then Sunday against Cal State Fullerton to finish out the Bear Down Fiesta. Galentine's Day, there's a wine glass giveaway. Ooh, wine glass giveaway. I wonder if it's got a block. That's one thing I don't think I have. I don't think I have a Block A wine glass. So if you go over to the game right now, you might be able to go get that Block A wine glass, if that's what they're giving away, and gift it to me, because I don't have one. I'll take it. Absolutely. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. If you've been out and you've seen, I've still not had a chance to get out to softball for either of these 2 weekends so far. So I've not seen any of this in person for myself. If you have seen this team in person for yourself, I would like to hear what you have seen so far, what you think of them so far. Give us a call, 520-848-1290. You can also text us at that number. PJ Brown is going to join us on the show today in the 4 o'clock hour. We will talk Arizona women's basketball and Arizona softball with her. Had a chance to see PJ earlier at the Adia Barnes press conference, which we carried here as the women's team has a huge game this weekend against TCU, who will come in here tied for first place in the Big 12. So an opportunity for an upset for Arizona women's basketball. 2 huge basketball games. Saturday, number 6 Houston comes in to face the 13th ranked men. And then on Sunday, the number 10 Horned Frogs will come in to face unranked Arizona, who's already beaten a ranked team at home this year when they knocked off West Virginia. So they'll have an opportunity to do the same with TCU. The return of Maddie Connor, who started her career here at the University of Arizona, opted to transfer out and is now a popular and talented senior on that team for TCU. Haley Van Lith on her 3rd team in her college career, finishing things out. And, of course, Sedona Prince, who we saw a lot of as well in the Pac-12. They are stacked, so it's not going to be an easy go for the ladies on Sunday at 2 o'clock. DK on the Sports Tip, much more coming up for you straight ahead. Diamondback spring training is underway. Pitchers and catchers are in camp. Position players, I believe, tomorrow. Games start a week from tomorrow. First game will be next Saturday, the 22nd. We'll hear from Brian Kaplan. He's the new pitching coach. Replaced Brent Strom, who retired. Brian Kaplan, we'll hear from him on Jordan Montgomery and the struggles that he had last year and what he's hoping to rebound and do this year. DK on the Sports Tip, you're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Don't let the urge to sing along to that catchy tune distract you from that truck drifting toward your lane or that lane-splitting biker creeping up beside you. Fortunately, every Hyundai offers advanced safety features that can alert you to potential dangers around you. And Hyundai has over 120 IIHS top safety awards since 2006 because Hyundai is always working to ensure that the road doesn't get you. Hyundai vehicles have won over 120 IIHS top safety awards from 2006 to 2024.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss. This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
All-Star Weekend is almost here, and Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while you watch your favorite players. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. The app is so simple to use. Pick 2 or more players across any sport, and then pick more or less on their projection, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money. Play during All-Star Weekend, and don't miss your chance to cash in on special events like the 3-point contest. Join Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app, available to play in more than 40 plus states, including California and Texas. Download the Prize Picks app today, use the code ROAM, and get $50 in bonus promo funds instantly when you play $5. That's code ROAM on Prize Picks to get $50 in bonus promo funds instantly when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 bonus credit for just playing, and it's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game, must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. We've got collisions reported Orange Grove and Camino de la Tierra, La Cañada south of Duval Mine Road, and crash on Pima Mine Road at I-19. Some backup southbound Campbell at Benson Highway, light slowing eastbound I-10 at Ajo Kino, light westbound I-10 slowing near Irvington Palo Verde. And for your weather, we're looking at a tiny chance of showers this evening, 42 the overnight low, sunny, 65 tomorrow, 73 on Sunday, 73 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program on this Friday. We were talking a little bit about Arizona softball in our opening segment today, and I got to put this picture up because it is the picture of the stemless wine glass that you're going to get if you go out to the ballpark today. This is pretty nice right here. If you're watching on any one of our many streams here, we stream the show on Facebook Live, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitch. I've got a picture of it up right now. That's pretty nice there. It's got the Block A, and then it's got the Block A above softball. Stemless. Looks like it's a pretty thick, so it's probably pretty durable, which is always important when you're talking about a wine glass. I got to get me a pair of those. Those are pretty nice. Get a pair for the house. We like to drink wine at our house. You like to drink wine at your house, J-Dub?
I like to drink wine at my house. I like to drink wine when I'm not at my house. Pretty much anywhere I am, I like to drink wine, sure.
There you go. Well, maybe we can get 4 then. We'll get,
Here's the thing, though.
We'll get 2 for me, 2 for you, and 2 for Cricket.
The thing is, when you work at a bar for 10 years and then another bar for 5 years and another bar for 5 years, you tend to pick up a lot of swag along the way.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm ever allowed to bring home any more glassware.
Okay, so
too much.
I went to a new place last night that I'd never been to.
Which is?
The Jackrabbit.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever been to the Jackrabbit?
I have not.
No. It's pretty interesting. Very 70s. Very 70s look to it. The Jackrabbit, which is right down the street from us here on Oracle, kind of near where my old television station Channel 4 is down close, more down south of where we are on Oracle. But very nice, comfortable. Had like a higher booth type like area in the back where you can kind of sit up. And then they had lower seating as well. I think they were having karaoke there last night, but we left before the karaoke got going. And then they have like this one room to the side where you can go, and it's like a social media room. I was telling my wife, they've got a social media room. And she had no idea what that was. But I was like, it's like one of those rooms where you can go and you can take pictures. They've got, the circular lights, the LED circular lights up there, so you can take your selfies and whatnot, and then you can send them out and tag the Jackrabbit, and then they'll put them up. They had there was a TV where they had all the running pictures that people had taken in their social media room, and so you could see all the people and the pictures that they had taken, and that was kind of cool. And the food, and they have food there. The food was excellent, absolutely excellent. I had what did I have? I had
Jackrabbit?
Lettuce. No.
Okay.
No, I'm not. No. No, I am not eating rabbit. Not eating anything
When
rabbit.
in Rome,
no.
DK.
No. I had lettuce wraps. Chicken lettuce wraps. Yeah, it was really, really good. The sauce they brought with it, and they have these the French fries they make there. They're kind of like it's kind of like not like a curly fry like you think of it. It's almost, but it's like a curved fry.
Right.
That they had there. So yeah, really had a nice time. First time there. It wasn't really very many people there. It was kind of like just a light night. I thought there might be a few more people there for happy hour. But the gem show, I think, is over now for the most part. And so I think a lot of those people have left town. So, but yeah, it was cool. Jackrabbit, first time experience
The
there.
Jackrabbit Lounge.
Yes. Have you ever been to Nevada Smith's?
I don't know. Refresh my memory. Where is it?
Okay, that's it's another one. It's down Miracle Mile, I think. Yeah, it's another one that's kind of in this neighborhood here. I hear that's where I've never been to that one either. We thought about making a nightcap there, but we ended up just going back up to our neighborhood bar, which is Binny's Landing.
As a native Tucsonan, sneak my way around a conversation about Miracle Mile without being disparaging of any of the businesses there?
I don't know.
That's the question.
I don't know.
At hand.
Yeah, there's a lot of businesses on that block.
A lot. And a lot of signs these days, too.
Yeah, exactly. They took the bowling alleyway, though. Had you ever bowled at that alley before they tore it down?
Trying to think.
What was it called? I forget what.
I went to the one on Speedway quite a bit as a kid.
Yeah.
I don't know if we made it out this far. That would have been like a 35, 40-minute drive from me where I lived. So.
Yeah, so check out the Jackrabbit. Good spot. Bartenders were really good, very attentive. Service is always key. And they've got some you can get up on if you want to do your dancing. They got some little elevated areas there where if you like to dance in a little elevation.
DK is out there.
You can do that.
Singing his favorite karaoke song, and the whole crowd goes wild, and they're up there dancing on little dance.
I was not singing it. Now, I may go back for karaoke and try to sing one of my favorite songs and see if I can get somebody to pop up on one of those elevated dancing things that they had there. But, yeah, good spot.
Yeah, it looks cool. I saw some pictures.
Yeah.
I like the carpet.
The carpet was very sad. And then you go in the bathroom, and it's all like 70s drinking advertisements.
Right,
Like
right.
those ads for bourbon and liquor that you would see like in the 1970s.
A lot of cowboys in those ads.
It was
back in those days.
It was a lot of older men with younger women.
Yeah.
That was in those ads.
And they
I
all
was
have
like, everyone I
cigarettes in
looked at,
their
I was like, well,
hands.
wait a minute. He looks like he's about 45, and she looks like she's in her 20s.
Well, who was it? Ricardo Montalban, right? Like that was a huge fashion guy that a lot of people kind of followed that trend.
A lot of those guys.
So they looked like that.
A lot of those
White
Ricardo
suits. Yeah.
Montalban looking gentlemen of leisure, or whatever you want to call them back in the day. Great stuff, though. All right, 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. It is Friday night here in Southern Arizona, so there's a lot of exciting high school events that are going on. I believe we have actually started the postseason in basketball, and we have, I know for sure, in soccer. So there's a lot of state tournament action that's going to be happening this weekend. There's play-ins for basketball. There's a lot of confusion now with this new basketball. They've got what's called, for I think, the lower division. So they have the Open is still happening for the big schools. Now they have what's called the Copper division for, I believe it's like the lower schools, like 3A, 2A, and 1A. So it's kind
That's
of their
funny
version
because
of the Open.
You would think gold, silver, copper, but copper is so synonymous with Southern Arizona. You would think maybe copper should be at the highest tier because of what it means to the region. But yeah.
So like the Copper State tournament on the girls' side, they're already to the semifinals. There's no Southern Arizona. I'm trying to see if there's any Southern Arizona teams that made this Copper playoff. Well, Push Ridge did. They were the 10 seed. They got knocked out in the first round. But then I think it's kind of similar to where if you get knocked out, then you can go back down to your regular conference. So Push Ridge will actually now, they were in the Copper. They lost in the first round. Now they go back to 3A, the girls, as the number 4 seed. And they'll play, I believe it's the 17th. Is that Monday night? They'll play Monday night in their 3A opener against Sabino. So that's kind of how this new Copper thing works. It's like, it's the AIA.
So much change, DK. It's crazy. How do you keep track? I mean, how do we keep track of what's going on?
They keep adding like new twists every single year just to confuse us. And now I think they've got we'll have to see if we can get the new executive director. They announced last week the new executive director of the AIA. We'll have to get him on and see if he's been hired to kind of bring some sense of normalcy to this whole thing.
Let's try to get the whole panel who determines whether or not a team that requests to move up or down, the people who make those decisions, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to see how behind the curtain of how that goes down.
There's an open division this year for soccer as well. Soccer has an open division, and so they are already to the quarterfinals of the Open. And as you can imagine, it's a bunch of the bigger schools from Phoenix. I don't think South Point Catholic was in the Open for girls. Girls soccer. Obviously, we talked about that I think last week, or maybe we're referring to softball actually. But South Point girls soccer is as good as South Point girls softball, which we were talking about last week. They've won a string. I think they won like 4 state championships in a row of their own. So they were the 16th seed. Now, granted, the way they did the open division in soccer was there were 32 teams. So they were number 16 in this 32-team field. So they ended up playing number 1 Castile. That was last night, and they lost. We talked to you about Walden Grove. We had our girl Priscilla out there for their first round game of the Open, which they won. They beat Walden Grove 1-0. Then they lost to Castile in the second round. So now they drop back down. I believe in soccer they are still 4A, but they might be, they're 4A. So now they drop down to 4A as the number 2 seed. And they'll play again on the 18th at home against ALA Queen Creek. So there you go. Open divisions, Copper divisions, all kinds of confusion, multiple levels of state championship high school playoffs here for the winter in Arizona.
I want people to call in and explain via the notes that they took during that last 5 minutes of you talking, so they can explain it back to us.
Exactly.
Because I still don't understand.
Yeah, exactly. I can tell you Prescott is the number 1 seed in 4A girls soccer, and South Point Catholic is number 2. There you go. All right, let's get another break in. We'll come back. We will hear from Kelvin Sampson. Had some really interesting things to say. We're going to hear from him coming up as well. Actually, we may push him back to the 4 o'clock hour and may let you hear from Caitlin Lowe when we come back. Caitlin Lowe had some things to say about the speed she has on her softball team this year. But we will get in. Also going to join us later in the program, Jeremy Branham. He is the voice of Houston basketball. We'll talk to him about the big contest tomorrow here at McHale Center. DK on the Sports Tip. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Clones, listen up. Not all beef jerky is the same. In fact, there are major differences in quality from one brand to the next. Old Trapper is a better way to snack, chock full of good protein to satisfy your manliest hunger cravings. Every bite is better for you and higher in essential protein than chips, sugar-filled energy bars, and candy. Old Trapper in the Clearview bag is the world's finest jerky, made with only the best ingredients. So ask for Old Trapper by name because no other jerky compares. Old Trapper, what's your beef?
Lowe's knows how to help you get the most out of your store run. That's why members save more with MyLowe's Rewards. Earn points towards MyLowe's money on eligible purchases. Get access to member-only deals and free member gifts. Plus, unlock free standard shipping when you reach Silver Key status. So what are you waiting for? Join for free today. Lowe's. We help. You save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Did you miss the big game?
They need a 3 to get to overtime.
You know we got you covered.
Midcourt, shot is up. Good! Love has hit a 3. We're going to overtime.
Trying to keep it close, and you never give up. I guess that's life in the Big 12.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
February means Valentine's Day, but we're always spreading the love at Oral Ford. Hi, it's Alex Medina. What's not to love about paying 2% lower taxes only at Oral Ford? Then there's zero dealer add-ons at Oral Ford. Love that. And everyone loves this. I'll beat any price on a new Ford. So look, we don't use the same old rule book at Oral Ford. We sell cars from the heart. That's how we always do business. Take the easy drive from anywhere in Tucson to Oral Ford. You're going to love it. Drive a little, save a lot.
You know it. Your neighbors know it. And let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was, and even better. Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
Hey, man. Yeah, it's me, your furnace, man. Hey, can I get a light here, man? I know we live in Arizona, so I understand I'm not, like as cool as your air conditioner. But I still need a tune-up at least once a year, man. So get the best in town, man. Goodfellas AC, bro. Hey, anybody smell that, man? I swear it wasn't me. Okay, it was me.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Deep 3 is good, and the Cats are on top.
Put up a three-pointer that'll count if it falls, and it does!
Do you believe in McHale Magic? Every voice matters. Every roar matters. And when your Wildcats take the floor against top 25 Big 12 opponents, you make the difference. McHale Center is the place to be, and the time is now to experience the high-flying action of Arizona basketball. Don't wait and lock in your tickets today by calling 520-621-2287 or by visiting ArizonaWildcats.com. Bear down. Go Cats!
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
It's not just a donation.
It's a warm blanket.
It's a bottle of clean water.
It's a roof and a bed.
It's knowing someone cares.
It's feeling safe.
You said today, that's better than yesterday.
Every dollar you can spare helps so much more than you can imagine. Donate now to help people affected by the 2025 California wildfires. Your support is urgently needed.
Go to redcross.org to help.
We bring you all the news and stories of your Arizona Wildcats. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Wildcats Radio 1290 for the latest highlights and commentary. Your home for U of A athletics, Wildcats Radio 1290. DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Pima basketball will be back on the hardwood this weekend at home. Wes Ball is going to join us later in this hour. We'll talk some basketball with him. He is out of Marana High School and is one of the forwards for Brian Peabody's club, averaging 12 points per ball game and shooting 50% from three. So we will chat with Wes Ball coming up here very shortly. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. We've talked a lot about Arizona softball and just some of the things that they're bringing into this season. That game is now underway over at Hillenbrand Stadium. Number 15 Wildcats, Cal State Fullerton, no score, top of the first there. And one of the things that Caitlin Lowe has is a tremendous amount of speed. We mentioned that a little bit yesterday, and how the Wildcats were 11 for 11 so far in the season in stolen bases. And leading the way there is Reagan Shockey, who is by far the best runner on this team.
It seems to me, DK, I remember, a lot of the 90s greatness, and they always had a couple of slap hitters with crazy speed at the top, and then a lot of ladies who could swing for the fences to clean it up. Like a lot of the both. You talk about the balance between speedy, leadoff hitters and the ability to get them home. And ideally, you have to have the speed to get on and then the power to get them home.
She only had, it's crazy. She only had 8 stolen bases last year. She already has 6 this year. So, and again, she's still young. Reagan Shockey, just a sophomore. Last year was her freshman year. But clearly she is in a place this year where they are ready to take the reins off and let her go. She's gotten a hit in all 8 games so far this year, hitting .407. And her coach Caitlin Lowe, talked a little bit about her speed and how she can use it to change games.
I mean, how does she not use her speed? I think is the question. I think defensively, tracking balls down. I mean, bunting, slapping. She's developed some pop this year, which she's just, been working on throughout last year and this year. She just is headsy, though. So she plays the game. She watches defenses. She's one step ahead of when someone puts the ball in play defensively. She doesn't take a break. So she's just someone that is exciting to watch because she's on all the time.
When she's on third base, are you more willing as a staff to send her if it's sort of a 50-50 situation on a pass ball or a grounder or something?
Well, the funny thing about your statement is that you assume that we send her, but for the most part, Reagan has a mind of her own, and great base runners do, right? Great base runners, if they've waited for a coach to tell them what to do, it's too late. And we trust her instincts completely, and she proved that right away from the very first, I don't know if it was game, the very first tournament of the year, her freshman year, that she had great instincts, and she could really just push runs across the board, much needed runs, and in very big moments. So I would never want her to think twice about those instincts and never want to control that, and that's someone you kind of let go, because she understands the importance of, hey, I can't make the last out here, or, when to kind of be cautious. But for the most part, she's going to trust her gut, and I'm very okay with that.
Reagan Shockey, she is, again, a sophomore out of Chino Hills, California, and she's starting to develop a little bit of some pop in the bat as well. No home runs yet this season, but we'll see if that comes as her season goes along. .407 average, though, so far this year, 11 of 27. 3 runs batted in, and 6 for 6 stealing bases. She can bring that speed both offensively and defensively. Before we hear from her, let's get you in on some traffic. Cricket every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Campbell and 6th Street and Campbell, construction work backups for traffic on Campbell at 6th Street. Several minutes to get you through. So instead of Campbell at 6th Street, how about trying maybe Euclid or Tucson Boulevard instead? And collisions, La Cañada south of Duval Mine Road, Pima Mine Road at I-19, and also Orange Grove and Camino de la Tierra. And we've got a tiny chance of showers this evening, 42 the overnight low. Sunny, 65 tomorrow, 73 on Sunday, and 73 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. It matters who does your taxes. Jackson Hewitt makes taxes feel like a yacht rock song. Get your max tax refund guaranteed, and new customers get $100 to switch. Don't miss the boat. Book an appointment with experts today. Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Yeah, everybody's trying to take advantage of the yacht rock genre.
Popular.
There, indeed.
You know what's crazy? You're talking about Reagan Shockey. I had to look it up because you said, her skipper there's talking about how she has the green light more or less to make decisions on her own. And you said she, quote, only had 8 last year. I had to look it up. 0 caught stealing last year. So
Yeah.
8 for 8. Maybe DK, it's just that confidence. 1 year older, maybe understands how to read pitchers a little bit better at this level. But 6 through the first, 5 games?
Yeah.
It looks to be like she's going to push that number from 8 a little bit higher this year.
Let's hear from Reagan Shockey about how she wants to use her speed to try to help the Wildcats win softball games this year.
I just think speed is so important. I mean, it really controls the game. You can control, as a base runner, you control the defense's pace, how they react. You can get them a little razzled. I just think you have so much control, and I don't think a lot of people realize that. When you're a good base runner, you have a lot of control of the game, and you can start playing little tricks, and it starts going to the mind. And I just try to use my speed to do things like that.
Obviously, it's depending on how the infield's set up, where the left fielder is. But which would you say is more effective? Which one do you like doing better, power slapping or chop slapping?
Definitely chop slapping. I would say that's my go-to, mostly for everything. But this year we're trying to incorporate, make me more closer to a 5-tool player with my hitting, power slapping, and butting, and putting more of those things to use. But typically I go to my slap.
Have you noticed teams shifting more than they have in the past? I saw that a lot last year.
Yeah, I experienced it. I got a good taste of it with Utah and Oregon, and those are obviously very good defensive teams. And I got my little taste of it. But if anything, it's made me this season train harder for those other tools to have, such as hitting away and power slapping and even bunting. It just makes you realize that college softball is so hard, and they're going to challenge you every time they can. Because at the end of the day, everybody wants to win. So it just makes me want to be a better player.
What's the biggest thing that you look at when you're seeing the infield shift when you come up to the plate?
I actually look at the outfield shift a lot more. I think because they have so much ground to cover, they tend to give away a little more. But my main priority is just the ball in that pitcher's hand. I mean, at the end of the day, if I put the ball where it needs to be, move the runners, do my job, that's all that's important to me, not necessarily the base hit.
That's Reagan Shockey, sophomore outfielder for your Arizona Wildcats. She is in the lineup today, batting second and playing center field. Arizona and Cal State Fullerton right now over at Hillenbrand Stadium, bottom of the first. No score. We'll keep you up to date on that game as we roll through our show today. Also, we'll give you an update coming back a little bit later about men's baseball. They're playing right now against Ole Miss to open up the 2025 campaign. Let's get a timeout in here, though, and we're going to talk some Pima basketball coming up next. Wes Ball from Marana High School, sophomore at Pima, is going to join us. They have not lost a single game this season. You're listening to DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Ultrafine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024 by USA Today, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices. Just $189.
actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 500,000 happy customers by going to AudionHearing.com. That's AUDIEN Hearing.com.
Did you miss the big game?
They need a 3 to get to overtime.
You know we got you covered.
Midcourt, shot is up. Good! Love has hit a 3. We're going to overtime.
Trying to keep it close, and you never give up. I guess that's life in the Big 12.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
Wildcat fans, Taco Bell is a proud partner of Arizona Athletics and is ready to serve you. We're open for breakfast. Fire up your mornings with breakfast at Taco Bell. You've heard about Happy Hour? Well, try Happier Hour at your local Taco Bell for $1 beverages. From 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., choose any regular freezes or medium drink for $1. It's the happiest time of the day. Taco Bell is locally owned and operated and is looking forward to serving Wildcat fans. Stay safe, bear down, and live Moss.
When it comes to protecting my family's future, I want a life insurance company that's at the top of their game. That's why I got same-day coverage through Ethos. There was no paperwork, no waiting around, and no medical exam. I just answered a few health questions online, and Ethos set me up with a $3 million policy for about $2 a day. Go to tryethos.com and get it done today. That's TRYETHOS.com. TRYETHOS.com. Sample rates as a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Great. Thanks, William. Good meeting.
What about me? Who said that? Me.
Gary, I can hear you, but...
Where are you? Guys, I'm right here. You can't see me because I'm being transparent.
You're being transparent?
Yep, and we should do it company-wide, starting with how much it costs to get a Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
This is freaking me out.
Other places don't put payments on their websites. Know why?
Too much trouble?
Embarrassed?
They want to get in your house and twist your arm?
Could be any of those. Could be none of them. But like polar bear fur, we're transparent.
So people can go to AlaskanAC.com and get an instant payment?
You got it. Now you're being transparent.
Hey, I'm fading away.
I like it. Nothing hidden. Just an honest instant payment on their new Grizzly from AlaskanAC.com. Whoa, now I'm becoming transparent.
Doesn't it feel good?
We're all transparent.
And good thing, that shirt Ron was wearing was ugly.
I'm still here. Get a transparent payment on a new Grizzly at AlaskanAC.com.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
This is Bill Ryder of the Sports Minute, sponsored by AutoZone. Get on the zone, AutoZone. The Pittsburgh Steelers haven't won a playoff game since January 2017. Mike Tomlin has fallen below 500 as a playoff coach. And the quarterback position remains a revolving door of mistakes and missed chances. This smells like desperation. Don't double down on those errors by bringing in Aaron Rodgers. There are better options. I'm Bill Ryder.
Attention, are you or a loved one suffering complications after taking Ozempic or Wegovy? These medications may be linked to serious gastrointestinal illnesses. If you've been hospitalized and diagnosed with gastroparesis, chronic vomiting, deep vein thrombosis, or experienced intestinal blockage requiring surgery, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Call 888-900-LAW-1 today for a free consultation. That's 888-900-LAW1. Paid for by Tort Defenders. Tort Defenders is not a law firm and does not provide legal services.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Arizona basketball at home this weekend, men and women. Pima College basketball at home this Saturday, men and women. We'll be on the floor at 2 o'clock tomorrow up on West Anklam Road at the West Gym against South Mountain. Fellas will take the floor at 4 o'clock, looking to stretch their undefeated record with a 27th consecutive win. Pleased to be joined right now by sophomore forward Wes Ball out of Marana High School, who is a part of this team that has not lost a game this season. Wes, what has this run been like for you to be on such a powerful team in junior college Division II?
It's been really special. I don't think we've the gravity of the situation is set in for some of us yet, that we're 26-0 and we haven't lost, and that we can make history this season, something that no one's done in I don't know how long, but we try to just take it game by game, day by day, so that we don't get ahead of ourselves and stay ready. So, yeah.
I was at the game the other night over there, and you guys, it just seemed like you guys were having, you guys were up so much that I think all the starters were out of the ball game. And I just think it just seemed like you guys were I was watching the bench, and there was just, guys looked like they were having a good time and that they really enjoyed playing with each other. When did you kind of get the feeling that this was just going to be a team that was going to have that real cohesive feel to it, about guys really wanting to gel and be a part of a winning situation?
Well, it starts with the 5 starters that we have. 4 of us are returners, and we integrated Max into that pretty well. So we all played with each other last year. We know how we play. So that group being pretty cohesive, and then everyone that we sub in, they play their role. They do what they're supposed to. No one tries to do too much. So when everyone does their role and no one's selfish, it's pretty easy to play together and play well like that.
We're chatting with Wes Ball, sophomore forward for the Pima College men's basketball team, 26-0 on the season. Wes is out of Marana High School, where he starred over there in the Tigers program. And Wes, if I'm not mistaken, you redshirted a year at Pima, so this is actually your 3rd year there?
Yes, I did a redshirt in my first year.
So what was that like for you to kind of have to sit out and watch and learn, from those guys, obviously, that were in front of you at that time?
I think it was good for me. I definitely needed it to put on a little bit of weight and to catch up to the speed of the game. But having 2 bigs in front of me, especially an All-American and Trayvon Jackson, he was really good. Good to watch him, just to know what I had to do to be able to compete at that level, the intensity you have to play at, the motive that you have to have the whole game. You can't take any plays off. I think it was definitely beneficial to kind of have a year where I'm on the team practicing with them every day, but not playing games, because it just definitely prepared me to be ready for next season for sure.
When did your conversations with Brian Peabody start about you potentially being a part of that program?
Started after my senior year, actually. I was just looking for a school to play for, really. I'd gotten a few looks from a few lower level schools, and I was like, I'm just going to go see what Pima's got going on. Went to some of their workouts, started chatting with some of the assistant coaches. And then before my redshirt season, I got offered a scholarship. And I think I only talked to Peabody probably 3 or 4 times. I was talking to the assistants a lot, but I guess he liked me enough to give me a scholarship, thankfully.
When did you kind of hit your growth spurt?
I was pretty tall all the way through, high school, I would say. I mean, my freshman year, I was probably like 6'3", but I got really tall my junior year. I got to about 6'7" right there.
Chatting with Wes Ball, a sophomore forward for the Pima Aztecs. Obviously, we mentioned you went to Marana. You actually did play a little bit of football, as a freshman. You no thoughts about being one of those, 6'8" wide receivers at all? When did you kind of make the decision to give up football and concentrate on basketball?
Oh, I regret not playing football, honestly. I wish I did all throughout high school, but I kind of gave it up after I actually ended up breaking my collarbone my freshman year, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to do it again. So I kind of gave it up then, but looking back on it, I wish I still played. But, yeah, after seeing that I could take basketball seriously and see where I could take with it, I was okay with giving up football, especially because just like the injuries, like I said, I didn't want to do that. And after I hurt my collarbone my freshman year, I was really worried that I was going to have to sit out the season, and that kind of deterred me from playing again.
Chatting with Wes Ball. Wes is a sophomore forward on the Pima College men's basketball team, and they are 26-0 to start the season. You've got some fabulous guards on this team between Coenje Gonzalez, who we had a chance to chat with last year, Max Marley, who comes down from the Valley, Coda Benson, who's been real solid again this year. What have you enjoyed about playing with those three guys?
First of all, it's really easy to play with them. They make it a lot easier to play basketball as a big. I don't have to, as I feel like other bigs, they have to work really hard to get the ball, to get buckets, to really do anything on other teams. But I'm kind of just in a really good position where a lot of the attention is on our guards. And so we're kind of just able to, since we get less attention, we definitely are able to do more. They get us the ball a lot. They get us the ball very easily. Sometimes when we're in a little bit of trouble, Coach can just go get a bucket. So that's always nice too. I mean, we haven't been in a lot of trouble this season, but when we have, we all work together really well also. None of us are selfish, so we're always willing to pass the ball and get the next guy a good look if we need to.
Now, you're not a guy that shoots a lot of the threes on this team, but you are shooting 50%. So when are the situations in this offense when Wes Ball can take that three-point shot?
Really when I'm trailing the play and they reverse it to me, and for whatever reason my guy just wants to sit at the free throw line and not put a hand up, I'll let one fly. or if someone drives baseline or something and I move to the top of the key, I really only shoot from the top of the key and the wings. I don't think I've taken a corner three. It's probably going to stay that way. But yeah, top of the key, when they kick it out, I've shot a few. Really, I've only taken probably, I think, 10 or 11 all year. So, yeah. I mean, I really barely ever shoot them, and I'm really pretty wide open when I shoot them. But, yeah, I like shooting them. Maybe I'll shoot a few more.
Hey, 50%. Why not take a few more, right? Yeah. Why is out front maybe – why is that maybe a little bit more comfortable area for you when you are, maybe looking to size up a three-point shot?
Probably just because that's where we shoot it from the most in practice. Like when we're practicing the trail position and the trail three, that's where I shoot it from the most for sure, and it just feels the most natural. Like I feel like I could shoot it from the other spots, and I have no problem doing that, but I just noticed that I have the ball at the top of the key on the three-point line the most.
We're chatting with Wes Ball. He is a sophomore forward on the Pima basketball team. Before we let you go, Wes, have you had a chance? Had you played? Obviously, there's a lot of Valley kids on this team. Had you had a chance to play much against any of those guys? Like, I know maybe a few of them are maybe a little bit older than you, but like Coenje or Max or any of those guys, had you played any club ball against them at all?
I don't think I did, actually. I think I definitely remember playing Cooper in high school. I played against him.
Cooper Jones?
Cooper Jones, played against him. Did not play against Max or Co, unfortunately. That would have been fun, and then being able to reunite later on this team. But, yeah, I didn't get to play against them. But I did play Arcadia my senior year, but Max wasn't going there. So.
And how about your fellow big Gabe Oldham? What do you like about his game?
Oh, I love that Gabe just goes and gets pretty much every rebound, especially when, we're just missing a few shots at the rim. He's like, all right, I'll go get it. I love that he plays hard. never quits, never complains. He also makes it being another big really easy because he always looks inside for me when I'm posting up. He always feels really hard, so he gives me a good passing angle when I throw the ball into him. When I shoot mid-ranges, he's always there for a rebound in case I do miss. And he's a great teammate too, talks a lot, never stops moving, really easy to play with him.
All right, 4 more games to go to finish this thing undefeated at 30-0. South Mountain, 4 o'clock tip-off on Saturday at the West Gym. Hey, Wes, appreciate you taking a few minutes to join us. Continued success for you and the Aztecs.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Wes Ball from Marana High, sophomore at Pima College. That wraps up hour number 1. Much more coming up for you. Hour 2, we'll dive into Arizona women's basketball. P.J. Brown is going to join us. It is DKL the Sports Tip. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions that are reported eastbound I-10 near Valencia, Ahaway and Park Avenue. Orange Grove and Camino de la Tierra, La Cañada south of Duval Mine Road. Campbell southbound at 6th Street, road work and backups. You could definitely save time using Euclid or Tucson Boulevard instead. Tiny chance, 15% chance of showers this evening, 42 the overnight low, 65 sunny tomorrow, 73 on Sunday, 73 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
Every day a child in poverty waits for a sponsor is another day of hopelessness. There are thousands of kids who've been waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Just text the word radio to 83393.
Don't miss out on any of the action as the University of Arizona takes on the Big 12 Conference.
Good again. Caleb Love now taking over the game.
You're listening to the flagship home of Arizona Wildcats athletics. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place. For changes big and small, loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
It's the $10,000 quiz show. Okay, contestants, these are things that save you money. Ready? Here we go. It's Tucson's only place to save up to 40% on all your favorite tobacco products.
Tobacco Barn.
You pay no city or state sales tax because they're on
the Indian Reservation.
And save up to another $3 off with a coupon at
TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Excellent. Now for the big savings. At Tobacco Barn, you'll save up to
40% off.
And because they're on the reservation, you pay no
city or state sales tax.
And at TobaccoBarnTucson.com, you get
a coupon up to $3 off.
What you are if you waste your money shopping somewhere else.
Crazy?
Nuts.
Stupid?
A few tacos short of a combo plate?
Wow! Tobacco Barn, Tucson's most watched savings show. Nogales Highway just south of Valencia. Check your local listings or TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Hey, man. It's me, your furnace, man. Hey, can I get a light here, man? I know we live in Arizona, so I understand I'm not, like as cool as your air conditioner. But I still need a tune-up at least once a year, man. So get the best in town, man. Goodfellas AC, bro. Hey, anybody smell that, man? I swear it wasn't me. Okay, it was me.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit GetEthos.com. That's GetEthos.com.
Sample Rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Premium. By definition, a product of superior quality and therefore a higher price. SweetDeals.com's new Premium tab is here to break all the rules. Premium products without the extra cost. Designer handbags, luxury cruises, autographed sports memorabilia, gift cards to your favorite eateries, stores, and more. Priced up to 70% off. Premium just got affordable to all. Shop, score, save. Up to 70% off. SweetDeals.com. Click on the Premium tab and reward yourself today.
We are your home for all things Arizona basketball. 3 hours of pregame.
They're not going to finish the season 19-1, guys.
2 hours of postgame.
I guarantee you, Coach told the guys don't come over and help on him.
And all the action in between. Wildcats Radio 1290.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
It's cold outside and you need safe, reliable heat for you and your family. For a limited time, Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing is offering a free furnace with the purchase of a qualifying HVAC split system. For fast, reliable service, call Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 or picturoxcooling.com.
Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus Media station. Your home for the National Football League, starting with the Hall of Fame game through the regular season into the playoffs and ending in the Super Bowl. Wildcats Radio, 1290.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Yeah, that's the kind of beat that'll get you ready for a Friday night. Find me in the club with a bottle full of bub. Yeah. DK on the sports tip, hour number 2. 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program. Friday night in the T, the Dirty T. Arizona baseball has started their season. The fellas are down at the Children's Shriners Classic, College Classic, down in Arlington, which is Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, and they are taking on Ole Miss today. And that game is now in the top of the 8th inning, and the Wildcats are currently getting shut out. They are the number 21 team in the country, but they are losing today by a score of 2-0, a pitcher's duel to start the season. At the Shriners Classic, the Rebels got a pair of runs in the 5th inning of this game on a sac fly and a home run. Both of those coming off Casey Hintz, who got the start today for the Wildcats. Casey Hintz is going to be Mr. Friday Night this year. And so the Wildcats, though, offense, struggling. I'm sorry, Casey Hintz came in relief. I should rephrase that. Casey came on in relief of the starter, Colin McKinney, who's going to be Mr. Friday Night this year. Colin McKinney went 4 1/3 innings in this game, allowed 1 run on 3 hits, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. Casey Hintz, 2 2/3, a run and a hit. That one, he gave up the home run, I do believe. He gave up the 1 home run. So currently 2-0, 8th inning. Wildcats batting with 6 outs left to try to turn their deficit against Mississippi. Seems like we've had some pretty interesting games against Mississippi over the course of the last few years. There was that Super Regional a few years ago here when the Wildcats went to the World Series. They played Mississippi, and then I think they played them again. Was it last year or the year before? I know Ole Miss has been on the schedule, seems like quite a bit in recent years. 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program. PJ Brown will join us coming up a little bit later in this hour. We'll talk some Arizona women's basketball with you. I do, though, want you to hear from 2 of your Wildcat baseball players, Brendan Summerhill, Garen Caulfield. They are 2 of the main guys coming back in Chip Hill's rotation. In fact, today they're batting 1 and 2 in Chip Hale's order. The Wildcats, I mentioned, have just 4 hits. Garen Caulfield has 2 of them today, and Brendan Summerhill has one of the other 2, Mason White. In fact, the top 3 guys in the lineup have all 4 hits today. Everyone else down 5 through 9.
Don't look now.
Somebody just homered. Yep. Austin Guzman, I think. Yeah.
2-1.
Wildcats are on the board.
2-1.
Mason White. Mason White just homered in the 8th inning. So it is now a 2-1 ball game out of South Point Catholic High School, Mason White. Garen Caulfield and Brendan Summerhill talked about dealing with the expectations. You win the Pac-12 title, you win the Pac-12 tournament, and now you're coming into a new conference where you are expected to be one of the better programs. Now, TCU is going to be at the top of that list. Oklahoma State's probably going to be there on that list too. But you're expected to be one of the top programs in this new Big 12. And Garen Caulfield and Brendan Summerhill talked about dealing with those expectations.
Yeah, I'd say, the pressure that comes with those expectations is a privilege, and we've earned the right to have those expectations, and we're going to focus less on the expectations and more on the execution of playing up to our standard. So that's my answer to that.
Yeah, and I mean, kind of to echo off that, like nothing's really changed. Like we kind of knew what we had all year last year. Like there was never a doubt that, like what people were saying, oh, are we the 9th best team in the conference? Like we knew that wasn't true all along, and so it's kind of keeping that underdog mentality and just saying like, hey, let's go keep doing what we know how to do, what we've been doing, and with a new group now, so it's super exciting to kind of get the ball rolling.
Yeah, absolutely super exciting to get this season underway, especially when you're going to a tournament like this and you're playing big-time competition. Power Fives, much like we mentioned the softball team last week, opening up their season with Michigan State and Washington and Alabama ranked teams, same thing. Saturday game for baseball, and you're playing one of the best teams in the country in Clemson tomorrow. Ole Miss today. Arizona picked to finish second in the Big 12 behind Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State got 9 first-place votes. Arizona got 4. TCU got the lone other first-place vote. Top 5, Oklahoma State, Arizona, TCU, West Virginia, and Texas Tech. Arizona is 6th. That's what the preseason poll looked like. But Chip Hale basically said, hey, I only have one expectation for my guys.
Right. Yeah, I believe, with the position player side especially, we have a lot more, whether, even Brayfogle, who's played a lot of baseball as a sophomore. The expectation thing is so hard. It can really weigh a team down. So the only expectations we have for them is they play their butts off and go as hard as they can every day, and we'll see where that falls. But we do believe that the older you are, you feel a little more comfortable in it. So our position player side of it's probably the older group this year, and then we're a little bit inexperienced on the pitching side. So hopefully the position guys, like the pitchers did last year, they kind of held it until those guys figured it out. We may have to do that on the flip-flop it.
So Chip Hale thought, well, we're going to be inexperienced pitching. We got some guys coming back hitting. We might have to score a lot of runs to win early. Game 1, it's 2-1 in the 8th. So the pitching has been good. The hitting, off to a little bit of a slow start today. Mason White, who's homered, he is preseason all Big 12. Brendan Summerhill, who you heard from there as well, also preseason all Big 12. We'll keep you up to date on that ball game as it comes to a conclusion down at Globe Life Field, the Major League ballpark that is the home of the Texas Rangers.
Did you happen to catch that top 10 preseason ranking lists?
For
baseball, college baseball.
Oh, overall, no.
So we have 9 SEC and ACC teams and Oregon State. In fact, I think the top 4 are all SEC. Texas A&M 1, LSU, Tennessee, Arkansas, and then we've got Virginia, then Florida State. So those are ACC. And then Florida, and then Clemson, and then Duke rounds out the top.
No surprise there. I mean, they got all the regionals last year, those two conferences, basically. I think, there's 16 regionals, and I think they had like 14 of them.
So if I continue, number 11 is Georgia. Then we have North Carolina, then Oklahoma State. So that's the first non-ACC or SEC or, Oregon State, I think, is kind of a class of their own, right? They don't need a conference to be great.
No.
Then we've got Texas and Vanderbilt. That's the top 15, DK. There's one school that's not in the SEC or ACC, that's Oklahoma State, and then Oregon State in the top 15.
Yeah. Wonder who's Oregon State playing, though, this year? I haven't seen their
schedule. Like what conference? Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
question. I mean, they're independent, so maybe they could just play anybody they want this year. Who knows?
Yeah. It all starts at home for Arizona on Tuesday. Their first home game will be on Tuesday afternoon, and that will be against New Mexico. So that'll be fun. And then San Diego will come in for the weekend. So they've got, after this tournament this weekend down in Dallas, they will have 4 home games coming up straight ahead. We are joined by the third member of our program. Her name is Cricket. And, of course, Cricket's camera is not there. It never is.
Oh, look at that. You're doing that? Look at how techie you are.
I'm cranking it. There
Good
we
job.
go. Yeah, it probably won't stay there very long.
Does it fall or does someone that
No,
sits here?
it's just like we have to set it. Okay, so put your hands up, like put them up. Yeah, like that. Exactly. And then there should be something that sets it over there, like a green.
Oh, I saw a little flash.
Yeah, it should go green. Is it green?
Yes, it is.
Okay, it's green. So we should be good now.
Okay. Stick them up.
Stick 'em
Wow,
up.
I had no idea.
Stick 'em up. That's how these cameras work. It's all highway robbery. That's what it is. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch, if you see us putting our hands up from here and now and like that, that's we're not getting stuck up. We're not getting robbed. We're just trying to make sure these cameras don't heist the
worst
entire
part,
show.
Cricket, is if you wanted to zoom in, you may have to make an L shape.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of viewers out there in our streams think we're calling them losers or something, but no, it's actually that's because
Okay.
oftentimes the cameras will zoom in without you wanting them to. You have to zoom them back out again. These are like the COVID Zoom cameras, which a lot of people were doing work on Zoom, and they'll follow you around. That's what they're meant. They're meant to like follow you around in the room. Basically. Yeah.
I only have Zoom on it. I still don't have like movement control on his camera. I only have Zoom on his camera for whatever reason. I still got to figure that out. But that's okay. We won't figure that out today because where are we?
We are at
At the-
Valentine's Day.
Oh, Valentine's Day. Yes.
I thought I'd remind you, boys.
Did you get anything today?
No.
No. I'm sorry. I should have brought you something.
No, that's okay. That's
my
totally
bad.
fine.
That's my bad. But it is the weekend. Woo! Where's J-Dub's woo?
I made it silent.
Oh,
I was like one of those guys in church who's pretending like he's singing, but really isn't singing.
Silent woo.
Woo.
Silent woo.
There's your
Yeah.
woo. All right.
All right. So what we've got going on around town?
Yeah, what's happening?
Last weekend for the Tucson Gem Mineral and Fossil Showcase through
So
Sunday.
all those people haven't left town yet.
Correct.
Okay, they're
yes.
still here.
Visit Tucson.org for details. Tonight, Silent Adventures, 6 p.m.
Yes.
Downtown at the main library, Stone and Alameda,
Those
6
are our
p.m.
girls.
It's a Valentine's Day theme tonight, so you could go with your sweetie, dance around, sing at the top of your lungs.
They will make you do that.
I believe that. You can book and get more details, silentadventures.com.
How would you know if you were singing at the top of your lungs?
Yeah.
Because you can't hear.
Because it would be the way people looked at you, like,
Right.
Yes.
huh?
So based on the gazes you get from just bystanders.
From people that are not wearing the Silent
Who are
Adventure
those
headphones. Yeah, what are they doing? I have questions. Tonight, you can also sing and scream at the top of your lungs. I'm sure you can. It's a 90s dance party at 9 tonight. Surly Wench on 4th Avenue.
90s dance party tonight.
Yeah.
Ew.
Ew. Did you say ew? Or was it like...
I said ooh.
Oh, ooh, okay. Not ew?
Not
okay.
ew. I like the 90s.
I do too.
Yeah, I haven't been to the 90s one yet.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Maybe tonight's the time.
I told J-Dub plays this. I told him he's getting us ready for the club tonight.
Now we need like a fog machine and
It's in
strobe
in
lights.
a disco ball.
Flashing lights,
Right?
yes.
There you
And
go.
also La Fiesta de los Vaqueros. The Tucson Rodeo starts tomorrow. You can get the schedule, all the details at TucsonRodeo.com.
All right. We will, in fact, we had a chance to talk to Sam Merriman. If you missed that, he is the chairman of the board, as they call it, of the Tucson Rodeo. Head on over to our website, wildcatsradio1290.com, for that interview, or download our app. Also, we'll run that again on our Sunday morning show, Tucson in Review. So just a great story. Grew up in rodeo. I was talking about it yesterday. How,
Oh, yeah.
he grew up in rodeo. Then he decided to play football, made it all the way to the NFL with the Seattle Seahawks, and now he's back home in his hometown running the rodeo that he grew up loving. So that's a pretty cool full circle story.
Yeah, it is.
Right there for sure. All right, Cricket, we're going to have you back at 5:32.
Okay, noting that.
With more about what's happening this weekend. in southern Arizona.
I'll be here.
All right, right now, though, she's getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with the traffic and the weather.
And from the Auto Nation, Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Southbound Campbell at 6th Street, some road work, some slowdowns. You could definitely save time using Tucson Boulevard or maybe even Euclid instead. Collisions that are reported Ahoway and Park Avenue. Westbound I-10 near Valencia. That collision's off on the side of the road, but some slowing there. Westbound I-10 near Valencia. Also backups westbound Speedway approaching I-10 and also on westbound Grant Road at I-10. Tiny chance, 15% chance of showers this evening, 42 the overnight low, 65 sunny tomorrow, 73 on Sunday, and 73 now. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Arizona Lottery.
When you play the Arizona Lottery, there's always a chance you'll win big, but there's also a guarantee that you'll be giving back to the community. There's joy in it all. Love the play with scratchers, draw games, and more from the Arizona Lottery.
Great, thanks, William. Good meeting.
What about me?
Who said that?
Me.
Gary, I can hear you, but...
Where are you? Guys, I'm right here. You can't see me because I'm being transparent.
You're being transparent?
Yep, and we should do it company-wide, starting with how much it costs to get a Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
This is freaking me out.
Other places don't put payments on their websites. Know why?
Too much trouble?
Embarrassed?
They want to get in your house and twist your arm?
Could be any of those. Could be none of them. But like polar bear fur, we're transparent.
So people can go to AlaskanAC.com and get an instant payment?
You got it. Now you're being transparent.
Hey, I'm fading away.
I like it. Nothing hidden. Just an honest instant payment on their new Grizzly from AlaskanAC.com. Whoa, now I'm becoming transparent.
Doesn't it feel good?
We're all transparent.
And good thing, that shirt Ron was wearing was ugly.
I'm still here. Get a transparent payment on a new Grizzly at AlaskanAC.com.
Tucson, it's time for the Cologuard Classic by Exact Sciences, March 7th through the 9th at La Paloma Country Club and the Westin La Paloma Resort and Spa. See some of golf's greatest players compete for the coveted Conquistadors Helmet Trophy. It's PGA Tour Champions Golf at its finest. Let's kick it! And Friday night, see the I Love the 90s Tour featuring Vanilla Ice, Rob Bass, and Tone Loc live in concert at Rillito Park. The Cologuard Classic by Exact Sciences benefiting colorectal cancer awareness and youth sports. Tickets and more at CologuardClassic.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
A new president is sworn in. America's greatness is being restored. And there's breaking news every minute. Now, tens of millions of Americans are turning off Fox and CNN and tuning in to Newsmax for the breaking information they really need to know. Reuters Institute says Newsmax is one of the top news brands in America. Find it yourself on all major cable systems and on your TV or smartphone store. Just download the Newsmax app for free and start watching. You'll get great shows with Rob Schmidt, Greta Van Susteren, Rob Finnerty, and Carl Higbie, and more. Find out why millions of Americans have made the switch. Even President Trump says Newsmax is terrific, and he's watching. So make the switch to Newsmax. Check us out on cable and satellite TV, or download the Newsmax app today. Watch us anytime, anywhere. Remember, Newsmax is real news for real people.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Are you having sewer and drain issues? Pixrock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing is the name to know when your drains don't flow. We do the dirty jobs so you can focus on yours. Leave the drain pane to the experts. Call Pixrox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 or pixroxcooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing.
The La Fiesta de los Vaqueros Tucson Rodeo returns for its 100th anniversary February 15th through 23rd.
We love the food, we love the beer, we love the Cowboys.
Fantastic. 100 years.
No way we're missing it.
We'll be here for sure.
There's no better place to be.
Don't miss the Boots in the Dirt Music Festival with Aaron Watson, Josh Ward, and more. Live in concert Wednesday, February 19th. Celebrate 100 years of tradition at La Fiesta de los Vaqueros Tucson Rodeo. Get your tickets today at 520-741-2233 or TucsonRodeo.com.
I'm Omar Reese with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. It's been a whirlwind week for Kellen Moore. Just days after celebrating a Super Bowl victory, the Saints introduced him as their new head coach on Thursday. Moore confirmed he'll be calling plays and plans to begin evaluating the roster immediately after returning from Philadelphia, where he'll attend the Eagles' victory parade. That evaluation includes quarterback Derek Carr. Meantime, the Jets announced they're parting ways with quarterback Aaron Rodgers. New head coach Aaron Glenn and general manager Darren Muji releasing a statement thanking Rodgers for his leadership, passion, and dedication, wishing him success in the future. Rodgers turns 42 later this year. Bills running back James Cook took to Instagram Live, indicating he's seeking a new contract worth around $15 million per year as he heads into the final year of his rookie deal. Cook is coming off back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons and tied for the league lead with 16 touchdowns in 2024. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like discovering a refund tree has grown in your backyard.
I'm the refund tree.
Sawing off its branches.
Hey.
Feeding them through a wood chipper.
My branches! My beautiful branches!
And dancing in its refund rain. Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Arizona women's basketball home on Sunday this week. I think this is the first Sunday conference game they've played in this new Big 12. They will host the number 11 team in the country. Texas Christian will come in tied for first place in the Big 12. Let's talk some Arizona women's athletics with PJ Brown from the Arizona Daily Star. PJ, before we get into the Wildcats, game of the year last year to this point, number 1 UCLA, number 6 Southern California. Did you get a chance to watch that game? I did not. I missed it. I was out entertaining. And what were your impressions?
It was a fantastic game. I think since last year, every time these two teams meet, it's pretty spectacular, and it's don't miss TV. It really is. This was probably the best game that I've watched this season, and they both played excellent. Obviously, Juju Watkins went off, and after being in a slump for a few games, she scored 38 points. She was doing phenomenal things. She had 11 rebounds, I think 8 blocks and 5 assists. So she was doing a little bit of everything. The blocks were what sort of surprised me because I've watched Juju for her first 2 years at USC, and I don't remember her doing that so much and playing such good defense in the past. I remember it was mostly, every time I see her, it's more like the moves that she makes on offense as opposed to defense, but upping her game like this and becoming a real threat on both ends of the floor, wow, that just skyrockets her ability, capabilities, and her ceiling is endless then.
Juju Watkins, obviously one of the more high-profile players in women's college basketball. Another one of the high-profile players is Haley Van Lith, and she will be coming to Tucson this weekend with TCU. And again, it's when you lose teams like UCLA and USC that have high-profile players, you really, I mean, if you're an Arizona women's basketball fan, you look forward to these games. I mean, we're kind of figuring out this new Big 12, and it just obviously the Pac-12 was stacked. I mean, it was a stacked conference in terms of basketball. Every team that came in here had recognizable players, and I think so far this season we're like looking for recognizable players on some of these teams that we know just from following the sport. This is a team, obviously in TCU, that has that. With Haley Van Lith, with Sedona Prince, and obviously with former Arizona guard Maddie Connor coming in here.
Yeah, absolutely. It helps when almost your entire team is transfers, right? And most of those transfers, except for Van Lith, and there might be somebody else, most of them come from the Pac-12. So we'll also be seeing there's a player who played at Stanford. There's Maddie Shear, who played at Oregon, as well as obviously Sedona Prince played there. So some of these players are very recognizable for Arizona fans, as well as Van Lith, who's been on a national stage since she played at Louisville a few years ago. So that's going to be exciting to see some of these players. And it's been a while since I've seen Sedona play in person, so I'm looking forward to seeing how her game has improved over the last 2 years at TCU. I know she had an injury, but she's really grown a lot, especially just her all-around game. So that should be kind of neat. I think just the difference with the Big 12 and the Pac-12, besides that the Pac-12 was stacked, like you said, from top to bottom. But we, as basketball watchers, haven't really seen a lot of the Big 12 players in general. So Audie Cricks from Iowa State was an All-American as a freshman, and then Brea neutralizes her, right? So you see that. You see. Even when she went up against Ioka Lee from Kansas State, that's another big name. She was an All-American. She's a top player in the nation. And, we just sort of don't know some of these players. And I think that's what it is. I think we're all just trying to get used to being in a different league and, a different style of play. It's all different than what we've seen in the past. So I think it's just that sort of learning stage and that growing stage for all of us.
PJ Brown joining us from the Arizona Daily Star, as she is your Arizona insider for today, brought to you by Coors Light. Coors Light is an official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics. Coors Light, choose chill. All right, so the Wildcats sitting a game under 500 in conference play. They had an upset earlier this year at home against West Virginia. Tough going on the road against Oklahoma State the other night, but another chance to get a ranked team in here against TCU on Sunday. What's your assessment of this team through the first, up to 23 games or so?
Yeah, they're a very young team. We've talked about that a lot this season. They're the youngest team in the Big 12. Most of their players Arizona's players are freshmen and sophomores. And you have Paulina Paris, who's a junior, and obviously Isis Bay, who's a 6-year player. But for the bulk of it, it's freshmen and sophomores, and that's who they're riding through this. So there have been ebbs and flows, right? So it took a while for them to seemingly put things together. And we saw a lot of that, even though they were losing at the beginning of the Big 12 season. So we saw how they played against Baylor. They took them to overtime. a team that was more experienced would have won that game. I mean, that's pretty obvious that they were right there knocking on that door. They just played teams really tough. And then they finally broke through with that West Virginia game. That was a really great game for them. And to me, that's who they are. If they put it all together, if whatever else is going on, whether it's, we were talking today about the February hitting that wall, whether it's that, whether it's just an off day, whether it's, against Oklahoma State, it's tough. Jada goes down in the end of the first quarter, and that's your point guard, right? And she's out there 99% of the game because she carries that load.
Yeah.
And so it's hard not to play with her. It's hard when Brea gets in a little bit of foul trouble and she's off of the floor because you build your team around Brea. So those things are hard, but if they can sort of get past that and remember that they're that team that beat West Virginia, then they have, they can go further than I think that, most people would think. I mean, they're sitting at 15 wins. We know they need to get 5 more to be pretty much guaranteed a spot in the NCAA tournament. The net will keep rising. Their net's in a good spot right now. They're in that rating. And, they have these, 5 games left. And then they have maybe 1 or 2 games in the Big 12 tournament. They have a real good shot at doing that. They just have to not think like freshmen right now, not think like underclassmen, right? They know what they need to do. Just put it together. Do what you're supposed to do. Listen to your coaches. Listen to the scout. Then you win. And it's pretty simple. The other thing that may help them, too, is besides TCU, the other teams that they play now are teams that are underneath them in the standings right now. So they should hopefully win those games because they should be winning those games, right?
Right. Absolutely. Chatting with PJ Brown from the Arizona Daily Star. She covers Arizona women's basketball. PJ, what's your favorite story so far that you've been able to fish out of this team this year?
Wow, favorite story. That's a tough one. Boy. I really like talking to Paulina. And earlier when she broke her nose and she had to wear the mask and it was driving her nuts, so she was taking it off and stuff. And that was a really kind of a fun story because usually I find that athletes are just, sometimes when it comes to their injuries, they don't tell you those things.
Right.
And she was just like, I can't stand it. I shouldn't take it off, but I did because she's from New York, right? So she's very direct. And I really like that. So that might be one of my favorites. And I also liked writing about Brea and how far she's come and talking to other coaches about her and what it looks like to face her. So that's been kind of a neat story, as well as ISIS. Anytime you can write about ISIS, it's fun. I mean, here's somebody who was a reserve player for her entire career. She decides to come back, get in the best shape of her life, works really hard on improving her skill set, and she's having a phenomenal season. And, that's a great way to finish your career in college. I mean, there's not a better story than that right now.
Yeah, I have to absolutely agree with that. It's been really fun to watch her kind of break out in Big 12 play and become a dominant force in the post, man. If you can get her and Brea going together, man, you might have something to build towards as they play down the stretch of this season with two bigs on the inside that you can really count on to get you some points. That would be really fun to watch. PJ, always appreciate the chance to chat with you. We look forward to doing it again, and we'll see you out there on Sunday for this big contest against TCU.
Thanks for having me on.
PJ Brown from the Arizona Daily Star. Your Arizona Insider, brought to you by Coors Light. Coors Light is official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics. Coors Light. Choose chill. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Ajo and Park Avenue and Ajo Way, crash clearing there. Backups on westbound Miracle Mile at Flowing Wells, westbound Speedway at I-10, westbound Grant at I-10, southbound Campbell at 6th Street, slowing there. It's some road work slowing you down. You could definitely save time using southbound Tucson Boulevard to 6th Street instead. For your weather, tiny chance of showers this evening, 42 the overnight low, 65 sunny tomorrow, 73 on Sunday, and 72 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. It's Mattress Firm's President's Day sale. Get matched to your perfect bed now and sleep at night. Plus, if you see a lower price, they'll match it. Hurry and stop by Mattress Firm to upgrade today. Restrictions apply.
If you're listening to sports, if you're looking for an edge rusher, looking for a run stuffer, you're looking for a big-time player in the middle of your defense, you're in luck. Mixed with pop culture, sprinkled with celebrity interviews. You hated the title Everybody Loves Raymond. That's true. Is it appropriate for you to tell people to hurry it up?
It's appropriate on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Bill Burr is here.
I want to know who you defeated to get that title as best dad ever.
I'm the Gonzaga of dads. And you're enjoying the Rich Eisen Show podcast. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
When it comes to protecting my family's future, I want a life insurance company that's at the top of their game. That's why I got same-day coverage through Ethos. There was no paperwork, no waiting around, and no medical exam. I just answered a few health questions online, and Ethos set me up with a $3 million policy for about $2 a day. Go to tryethos.com and get it done today. That's TRYETHOS.com. TRYETHOS.com. Sample rates is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Oral Ford is the fastest growing Ford dealership in Arizona. Hi, it's Alex Medina. There's no secret. It's simple. Here's how I do it. 1, no pesky dealer add-ons to drive up the price. 2, I'll beat any price on a new Ford. And 3, you pay 2% lower taxes only at Oral Ford, saving you thousands of dollars right off the top. Thank you, Tucson, for making Oral Ford the fastest growing Ford dealership in Arizona. Take the easy drive to Oral Ford.
Hey, man. Yeah, it's me, your furnace, man. Hey, can I get a light here, man? I know we live in Arizona, so I understand I'm not, like as cool as your air conditioner. But I still need a tune-up at least once a year, man. So get the best in town, man. Goodfellas AC, bro. Hey, anybody smell that, man? I swear it wasn't me. Okay, it was me.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
And the Wildcats have won it. What a day at McHale Center.
What's the best part of being at McHale Center live for Arizona basketball? Being right up against the action, witnessing history, and not only watching the game, but feeling that. Join the party because the place to be in Tucson is McHale Center with 15,000 of your closest Wildcat friends. Help your Wildcats protect home court and lock in your tickets today. Call 520-621-2287 or visit ArizonaWildcats.com. Bear down, go Cats.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Great. Thanks, William. Good meeting.
What about me? Who said that? Me.
Gary, I can hear you, but...
Where are you? Guys, I'm right here. You can't see me because I'm being transparent.
You're being transparent?
Yep, and we should do it company-wide. Starting with how much it costs to get a Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
This is freaking me out.
Other places don't put payments on their websites. Know why?
Too much trouble?
Embarrassed?
They want to get in your house and twist your arm?
Could be any of those. Could be none of them. But like polar bear fur, we're transparent.
So people can go to AlaskanAC.com and get an instant payment?
You got it. Now you're being transparent.
Hey, I'm fading away.
I like it. Nothing hidden. Just an honest instant payment on their new Grizzly from AlaskanAC.com.
Whoa,
Now I'm becoming transparent.
doesn't it feel good?
We're all transparent.
And good thing, that shirt Ron was wearing was ugly.
I'm still here. Get a transparent payment on a new Grizzly at AlaskanAC.com.
This is Zach Gelb with the Sports Minute, sponsored by TaxSlayer. Get your max refund at TaxSlayer.com and file fearlessly. Before Super Bowl 59, an unnamed Kansas City Chiefs coach, while answering a question from Henry McKenna of Fox Sports, admitted that getting to the Super Bowl so many times gets old. If that was a serious quote, Andy Reid must find out who said it and fire that coach immediately. Because if Super Bowl fatigue kicks in for any coach, then you shouldn't be coaching the NFL or on any level of football. I'm Zach Gelb.
What does it feel like to file with TaxSlayer and get your guaranteed maximum refund? It feels like the last level of a video game, facing off against the final boss who stands between you and your refund.
All your refund is belong to me.
Using the power of TaxSlayer like a secret power-up he doesn't see coming.
Only the most tax confident can defeat me.
Throwing your laptop at his video game face and watching him crumble into a giant pile of shiny coin tax refunds.
Oh, not fair. You use TaxSlayer.
Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for University Housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. DK on the Sports Tip. Hope your Friday is off to a great start. Cricket will be back with us in the 5 o'clock hour. We'll hear more from her on what is happening in Southern Arizona this weekend. Arizona baseball has completed their first game of the season. The Wildcats, number 21 in the country, fall to Ole Miss. Mississippi wins it by a score of 2-1 down at Globe Life Field, the home of the Texas Rangers. Mason White hit a home run in the 8th inning to put the Wildcats on the board, but they could not muster up anything else after that. And the Cats go down in the opener. Garen Caulfield finished 2 for 5. Brendan Summerhill 1 for 4. Mason White 1 for 2. All are 4 of the 5 hits coming from the top 3 batters in the lineup.
Yeah, it looks like DK they didn't have trouble getting men on base because they went 5 for 28, but they also had 8 walks.
Yeah.
So that means they left
12, 10 men on base.
Yeah, 12 on base.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Couldn't get the big clutch hit when they needed. Casey Wentz finished off for Colin McKinney. He went 3 2/3 innings. Good pitching, though. I mean, again, they did walk 5, which is, obviously not ideal. You don't want to see that. But 6 hits, 2 earned runs between Colin McKinney and Casey Hentz. McKinney takes the loss, getting his first start for the Wildcats.
I compiled last year the walk-offs. I think there were 12.
Walk-offs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for the Arizona baseball team last year. There was a lot of late inning heroics for the Arizona Batcats last year.
Mm-hmm.
So down 2-0 going into the top of the 8th, and Mason White hits the home run. It's almost like they were getting started again, DK. It looks like we got another fun year ahead of us.
We will definitely have, once basketball is over, we'll have all that action for you right here on Wildcats Radio 1290. Arizona baseball, again, they'll be home on Tuesday. That is a 2 o'clock game on Tuesday out at High Corbett Field against New Mexico. And then San Diego, University of San Diego, will come to town for the weekend next week. So lots of fun on that side. Softball in action right now as well. We'll give you an update on that game. This is heading for another run rule win for Arizona as they are leading 10-0 at the end of 3 innings over Cal State Fullerton.
You think the fans out there want to know what Miss Stoddard did today?
Yeah, I think they do.
Looks like 1 for 1 with a home run and 4 RBIs. DK.
Yeah, sack fly and a 3-run home run.
So, that's 5 in 2 days.
Yep,
My
5
math
home
is right.
runs. So what, she had 7 RBIs, I think, yesterday. So add 4 more, 11 RBIs in 3 games. That's a pretty good start to the weekend for Miranda Stoddard. 7 runs in the second inning for Arizona. The Wildcats have also gotten a home run in that ball game from Jenna Sniffen, who hit one last week, her first college home run. She's gotten her second. So 10-zip. Who's pitching for the Wildcats today? We've got Aisa Silva. 1 hit allowed in 3 innings with 4 strikeouts, no walks. So a good start for Aisa Silva as well.
Yeah, I feel, the Fullerton pitcher, I don't have her first name, but Garcia, is it? She came in with giving up 1 run in 13 innings, and she gave up 6 in 1 inning today, DK.
Yeah, Leanna Garcia.
Yep. Came in with, I think, a .4 ERA and gave up 6 in the first and got pulled.
Leanna Garcia had not faced a team like Arizona just yet.
Yeah.
Not just yet. Hey, give me that funky new Diamondbacks intro that we've got going over there. Let's talk some spring training baseball. It's crazy. We did it a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I think it got removed. Let me. I'd have to go find it.
It got removed?
Yeah.
Who took it out of there?
Somebody. Probably Dragon Ball.
Oh, my goodness. That was so fun. All right, anyway, Diamondbacks are in spring training, and one of the big question marks going into this spring is going to be what the Diamondbacks are going to get out of Jordan Montgomery in his second season, because the pitcher struggled mightily last year. He arrived late, signed late, was one of those late signing free agents, and it just never really came together for Jordan Montgomery. And the Diamondbacks, I should say, have a new pitching coach this year. Brian Kaplan has taken over for Brent Strom. I said earlier Brent Strom is retired. He's not actually retired. Brent Strom is the assistant pitching coach now for the Pittsburgh Pirates. So after 14 years in the lead role, he has taken a reserve role, but still working in the big leagues now in Pittsburgh. Brian Kaplan has now taken over, and he had this to say about Jordan Montgomery and his early struggles last year, which kind of really set the stage for what was not a very good season. Brian Kaplan had this to say on the MLB Network.
Diamondback Download.
Baseball talk.
I think, honestly, more than anything, he got burned a lot by kind of how everything went at the beginning of last year. I know that can sound like an excuse, but some of the most important times of the year is that build up in spring training into the early season. I know a lot of that was kind of disrupted by the whole negotiation process and everything. And then he was just trying to fit in a new place. I think he's kind of comfortable in his skin right now. He's had a really strong offseason. The communication I've had with him back and forth and some of the people he utilizes in the offseason to kind of get him in the right spot have been really good. He feels good. Some of the stuff I've gotten back from him is good. I think more than anything, yes, there'll be some, looking for a specific kind of sinker movement, certain kind of movement on the curveball, some usage stuff. But more than anything, it's just getting off to a strong start, which was tough with the circumstances last year.
Yeah, Jordan Montgomery last year, 8-7 with a 6.23 ERA. He gave up a lot of hits. I mean, a lot of hits. He was on a 1-year deal, $25 million contract. There was a player option for this year, which was picked up. They had acquired him. He was traded he started his career with the Cardinals. Then he was traded to the Rangers and was with the Rangers when they won the World Series, obviously, over the Diamondbacks, and had 3 wins in that postseason. But then no teams really came calling for him last year. He went into free agency, and there was just no long-term deals, and that's why literally he signed right before opening day last year at the end of spring training, and it was just a bad situation right from the start. And then owner Ken Kendrick came out, and at the end of the season, I don't know if he made it any better by saying that was his fault, that he had pushed for that, blame him for bringing that guy in here. We'll hear from Jordan next week. He talked, I believe, yesterday at spring training, and we'll hear what he has to say just about where his mindset is. But he's already got a little bit of a setback. You know, he was a guy that came in last year. There were some injuries. He was in the bullpen for a while because it wasn't working out as a starter, and now he apparently injured a flexor tendon in his hand or in his finger, pitching, in the offseason workouts. And so he's going to be a little bit behind to start this season. That's the last thing you want to hear when you're talking about Jordan Montgomery. You wanted him to come in. He's in good shape. That's the positive. He's in good shape this year because I think that was the other thing. He came in a little bit out of shape last year. But he does seem to have a little bit of a situation in his throwing hand right now, which the Diamondbacks are going to have to keep an eye on. So he is not thrown. I do not believe he has thrown at all so far in the early part of this spring. So we can talk about that. What do you think in terms of the Diamondbacks? What do you like about where this team is right now? 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. In the 5 o'clock hour, we'll dive into Arizona men's basketball against Houston. Kelvin Sampson spoke yesterday, had some really glowing things to say, not only about this year's team, but about this program and his interactions with this program during the years that he coached at Washington State.
So Coach Sampson was there from 85 to 94, which is a good stretch for Arizona. You want to take a guess how many wins the Cougars had in that stretch?
85 to 94.
Yeah, he was an assistant.
So that's 10 years.
He was an assistant 85, 86, 87. Then he was the head coach 87 and 94.
Okay, so 87. So 8 seasons he was the head coach.
10 overall.
10 overall, 2 a year, 20 games. I'll say they went 0-20.
They won one game. One game in the time he was at Washington State. Because, I mean, come on. I mean, that's nothing to do with Washington State. It's just how good Arizona was during that stretch.
Exactly. So he's seen it. He knows it. And we'll hear from him on just his thoughts on the Lute era and everything that meant into where this program is right now in year 4 for Tommy Lloyd and this big ball game, a battle for first place in the Big 12. It is a noon start tomorrow. Again, our coverage, 8:30 a.m., Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. We will get you started. We'll take you all the way through to get you set for Houston and Arizona. DK on the Sports Tip, much more straight ahead in the 5 o'clock hour. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions that are reported Cold Road and Golf Links, 22nd in Craycroft. Some westbound slowing on 22nd at Craycroft. Also northbound Oracle at Orange Grove. Also some busy traffic on southbound Campbell at 6th Street. Some road work there. You could definitely save time using Tucson Boulevard instead. Usual backups westbound Speedway approaching I-10 and westbound Grant Road at I-10. Tiny chance of showers tonight, 42 the overnight low, 65 sunny tomorrow, and 73 on Sunday. 71 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. It matters who does your taxes. Jackson Hewitt makes taxes feel like a yacht rock song. Get your max tax refund guaranteed, and new customers get $100 to switch. Don't miss the boat. Book an appointment with experts today. Limited time offer for new clients, participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Great. Thanks, William. Good meeting.
What about me? Who said that? Me.
Gary, I can hear you, but...
Where are you? Guys, I'm right here. You can't see me because I'm being transparent.
You're being transparent?
Yep, and we should do it company-wide, starting with how much it costs to get a Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
This is freaking me out.
Other places don't put payments on their websites. Know why?
Too much trouble?
Embarrassed?
They want to get in your house and twist your arm?
Could be any of those. Could be none of them. But like polar bear fur, we're transparent.
So people can go to AlaskanAC.com and get an instant payment?
You got it. Now you're being transparent.
Hey, I'm fading away.
I like it. Nothing hidden. Just an honest instant payment on their new Grizzly from AlaskanAC.com. Whoa, now I'm becoming transparent.
Doesn't it feel good?
We're all transparent.
And good thing, that shirt Ron was wearing was ugly.
I'm still here. Get a transparent payment on a new Grizzly at AlaskanAC.com.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care.
Our beautiful Arizona winter weather brings cooler overnight temperatures, which means some of you are now seeing your vehicle's low pressure warning light. Colder overnight temperatures can lower your tire's pressure just enough to trigger a warning light. But don't worry, many times the solution is simply adding the correct amount of air to your tires. Then get back to enjoying the fantastic winter weather. If adding the air doesn't do the trick, stop by any of our 14 area Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care locations for a free tire inspection and air pressure check. And if you need help with the low pressure warning light, we fix those too. Mention this radio offer for free installation with the purchase of any new tire pressure sensor. We'll install it in your wheel and rebalance your tires absolutely free. You'll find even more specials to get your car road trip ready at jackfurriers.com. So call ahead, make an appointment online, or just drop by. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
It's the $10,000 quiz show. Okay, contestants, these are things that save you money. Ready? Here we go. It's Tucson's only place to save up to 40% on all your favorite tobacco products.
Tobacco Barn.
You pay no city or state sales tax because they're on
the Indian Reservation.
And save up to another $3 off with a coupon at
TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Excellent. Now for the big savings. At Tobacco Barn, you'll save up to
40% off.
And because they're on the reservation, you pay no
city or state sales tax.
And at TobaccoBarnTucson.com, you get
a coupon up to $3 off.
What you are if you waste your money shopping somewhere else.
Crazy?
Nuts.
Stupid?
A few tacos short of a combo plate?
Wow! Tobacco Barn, Tucson's most watched savings show. Nogales Highway just south of Valencia. Check your local listings or TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
If you're listening to sports,
if you're looking for an edge rusher, looking for a run stuffer, you're looking for a big-time player in the middle of your defense, you're in luck.
Mixed with pop culture, sprinkled with celebrity interviews.
You hated the title Everybody Loves Raymond. That's true. Is it appropriate for you to tell people to hurry it up?
It's appropriate on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Bill Burr is here.
I want to know who you defeated to get that title as best dad ever.
I'm the Gonzaga of dads.
And you're enjoying the Rich Eisen Show podcast. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
It's cold outside and you need safe, reliable heat for you and your family. For a limited time, Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing is offering a free furnace with the purchase of a qualifying HVAC split system. For fast, reliable service, call Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 or picturoxcooling.com.
Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our clients' portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Your home for everything Arizona Wildcats. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290, KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Arizona and Houston on Saturday afternoon. High noon in the desert. A battle between number 6 and number 13. Looking forward to this one. Just another oh-ho-hum big game in the Big 12. Pleased to be joined by the broadcaster for the Houston Cougars, Jeremy Branham, joins us now. And Jeremy, I was joking with Wyatt Thompson prior to the Wildcats game against Kansas State the other night. I was like, I'm already worn out from all these big games every single night in this conference. It has turned out to be exactly what we thought it was going to be with our arrival here. How's that being viewed from the teams that have been here for a while? Just the arrival of the Arizona and the other Four Corner schools.
Yeah, vast experience of the Big 12 that Houston has. 1 year going into this one. It's a much different look to the Big 12, certainly. It's a lot of fun. Like, there's a lot of ways to describe it, right? It's fun. I mean, you get a number 6, number 13 team doing battle. You mentioned high noon in the desert. That's a lot of fun. I don't know if the coaches and the players, share that same sentiment, though, especially with the 20 games. I've heard a lot of the coaches in the league talk about the 20-game conference season as being the grind. And I think at some point they're probably going to go back to 18, try to lighten that load a little bit, ease up on everybody. But no, it's a lot of fun if you're a viewer, if you're doing radio, calling the games. I'm a big fan of the Big 12 when it comes to the basketball side of things.
All right, let's talk a little bit about this Houston team that the Wildcats are going to see here. When you look at obviously the fact that Emmanuel Sharp back in the lineup had missed a couple of games, second leading scorer on this team, averaging 12 a game. How important was that to get him back in there?
Yeah, important to get him back, but also important to get him right. For Houston to hit their ceiling and to be as good as they're going to be or want to be, they need to be as close to 100% as possible. And he's been having the split sprain that's been bothering him for a long time. And they felt that was just the right time in the schedule because of the grind that is the Big 12. They felt it was the right time to give him a week off, get him off of that foot, see if that could get him closer to 100%. And I think it did from a health perspective. And I think it also helped Terrence Arsenault a lot. Arsenault is a high potential player, a pro prospect that he's played, but he hasn't played those starter minutes. And the fact that Emmanuel missed those 2 games, I think helped in 2 fronts. It helped Emmanuel try to get as close as he can get to getting right. And then it also got Terrence a lot of playing time, a lot of confidence. He played well in those games, which was very big. So it could be one of those things where it helps your ceiling in 2 fronts. Emmanuel getting right and then also trying to lift a high potential player.
Chatting with the voice of the Houston Cougars, Jeremy Branham, and it is the Wildcats and the number 6 team in the country on Saturday here in Tucson. LJ Cryer, another outstanding offensive player on this ball club. But what's his game about? What is kind of the style of play for LJ?
He's a shooter. He'll shoot the 3 ball. One of the best in the Big 12 at 3-point percentage. He's top. In fact, he's second. I have my notes in front of me. He's one of the top 3-point makes per game as well. A lot of defenders will try to chase him off the 3-point line. Houston's good at getting them looks, so that'll be a fun game within the game. How does Arizona defend Cryer behind the 3-point line? And then Cryer, he can be streaky with his game inside the 3-point line. He's got a runner he likes to go to. Some nights it's falling really well. Some nights it's not. I imagine Arizona wants to chase him off the 3-point line and try to get him inside. But speedy, quick, very good defender, underrated defender. He's a kind of shorter, stocky, very athletic, but great shooting first and foremost for sure.
And you look at, we always like to kind of look at, okay, where we know where we're getting our transfers from, where are they getting their transfers from, because that's a part of this thing now. And you guys have been able to get player LJ, obviously, came over from Baylor, and Milos Usan, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, from Oklahoma. What's he added as a transfer to this lineup?
Yeah, Milos has been really good for Houston. He's been steady. I think it took him a little bit to learn the culture. This culture is something that Houston hangs their hat on. They have built a great culture. They have been one of the winningest teams in college basketball for the last 6-7 years. They played the Big 12 for the first time last year, had a lot of doubters, won the Big 12 regular season, currently have a game lead. They believe that they're good because of that culture. And I think the point guard position always is magnified when you're talking about a culture in college basketball. And if you look at point guards that Sampson has had at Houston prior to Milos, he had Jamal Shedd, who learned from Dejan Giroux, who was a Final Four point guard when Houston made it, who learned from Galen Robinson. So Uzan's really the first starting point guard that hasn't learned from somebody above him, that hasn't had that upperclassman that kind of showed him the ropes. So early in the year, you would see a little bit of that. And he was good player, but not really a Houston Cougar point guard quite yet. Close, getting there, but not quite yet early in the year. I think once conference play has started, he's been a Houston Cougar point guard. He's been incredibly steady, one of the top assist guys in the league, one of the top assist-to-turnover guys in the country. He's a good shooter. He's long, really good defender. He's been really good for Houston. And you mentioned the transfers, too. Cryer from Baylor, who was recruited by Houston whenever he was coming out of high school at Morton Ranch in the Houston area. Uzan, who the Cougars played last year whenever he was at Oklahoma. A lot of the transfers that Sampson brings in, there's usually a tie there, and it doesn't take a whole lot of time to find that connection.
Jeremy Branham joining us. He calls the games for the Houston Cougars. It is the Wildcats and the number 6 team in the country Saturday here in Tucson. You know, a lot of people, Jeremy, point to the game that these two teams played in the NCAA tournament a couple of years back as being maybe the moment that kind of has carved out what this Arizona roster was going to look like moving forward. And that was the need to be more physical because the Cougars absolutely beat up the Wildcats in that Sweet 16 game. Has that always been a staple of Kelvin Sampson's teams, physical clubs that are very difficult to deal with?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's one of the pillars of a Kelvin Sampson program is that they want to be the toughest team on the floor. They have a saying that the toughest team wins. You look at some of the defensive metrics over the years. Houston's at or near the top of every important defensive metric, whether it's points allowed per game, whether it's opponent field goal percentage, whether it's the KenPom defensive efficiency. That's something that they hang their hat on. They hang their hat on their offensive rebounding, which I think requires toughness. They also hang their hat on not turning the basketball over, which maybe takes that mental toughness. I was looking at the box score of that game earlier today, in fact, and there's only one holdover from that game when those two teams played in San Antonio in the Sweet 16 a few years ago. And it's Juwan Roberts. He's the only player in that game for either side that will play tomorrow that played in that game in San Antonio a few years ago.
Yeah, 1,000-point scorer, Juwan Roberts, a guy that's been around your program for a long time. Well, what does he mean to the Houston Cougar fan base and what he's been able to do during his time there?
Yeah, everything to this program specifically. There's been a lot of great players in Houston Cougar basketball history. You go back to Elvin Hayes, who was the greatest Houston Cougar basketball player in history. Look at his college numbers, stack them up with the others. But Phi Slamma Jamma obviously had its moments. And now you have the Kelvin Sampson era. And Juwan Roberts is the winningest Houston Cougar of all. You've had Clyde, you've had Akeem, you've had Elvin, you've had Otis Birdsong, you've had Jamal Shedd. Juwan Roberts has more wins than all of them. Now, that speaks to the teams he's played for. It speaks to him playing for a long time as well. But 136 wins. He and Kelvin have a great relationship. He's taken on that captain role this year with Shedd being gone. And when you're looking at, those are the tangible stuff, right? On the floor, he's also taken his game to another level in conference play. Houston will go to him offensively. They like to see early in games what the opposition's going to do whenever they dump it into the post for Juwan. And if you play Juwan one-on-one, they'll let Juwan go to work and see if he can beat the defender one-on-one. If you send a double team, he's a very good passer. He's a good defender. He's a good rebounder. Kind of the glue guy for the Houston Cougars.
And we were talking, obviously, a little bit about Kelvin and his days going back to Washington State and going up against him in those years for Arizona. What do you enjoy most about working with him?
Probably his wisdom. There's a lot. I would start with his wisdom, though. He starts to tell these stories, and you kind of get lost in these stories at times, and it's because it's so captivating. It's so interesting. You might have heard the story he was telling earlier this week about playing Lute Olson back whenever he was at Washington State, and mentioned how he would face Arizona and they would kill Washington State because they didn't have the horses that back whenever he was at Washington State. But I do his coaches shows too, and he'll start getting these stories where I'm just, he'll finish the story and I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to ask a question again. I'm still thinking about that story. But his wisdom, but also the work ethic. You go to his practices and he demands you working at your highest level. And if you're not going to do that, you're not going to be successful in his program. And, I'm an outsider. Yeah, I do the radio, but I'm not, running the plays. I'm not, doing the, running the lines and stuff like that. But you see the work ethic that they have, and it's like, okay, this is what it takes to be successful. You could probably apply this to other areas of life. So I think that he has a lot of wisdom. I think he has a lot of life wisdom. I think I haven't seen every coach do their thing, but I can't imagine that there's many better than Kelvin Sampson. In my mind, he's a Hall of Famer.
Jeremy Branham is the voice of the Houston Cougars. Jeremy, only one loss in conference play. It was that home game a couple Saturdays ago to Texas Tech. What stood out to you about the way Texas Tech was able to win that game?
That was a crazy game. You had the ejection less than 4 minutes into the game when JT Toppin got the leg a little high. Questionable call, controversial call. Totally understand why Grant McCaslin got thrown out of that game. Toppin, who had 40-something in the game earlier this week, it completely changed what Texas Tech was going to do. It also changed everything that Houston was planning to do defensively and maybe even offensively, trying to attack them. But, Texas Tech got the wrong side of that. They lost their best player. And maybe it changed the way the game was officiated the rest of the way. But Houston didn't feel like they played their best. They didn't feel like they defended their best. They also felt, they had a free throw. They had a front end of a 1-and-1 late in the game up by 3 that if they make, it's a 2-possession game with 20-something seconds left. Missed it. Darian Williams came down, hit a game-tying 3. Tip your cap there. And then Tech was the better team in overtime. So, yeah, Houston goes back to Lubbock later this month, which will be, I'm sure that will be a lot of fun, just like tomorrow will be a lot of fun.
Does the winner of this conference have 3 losses or less, or 4 losses or more?
The way that the conference backloaded the schedules, I would probably say more. I lean more. It's going to be tight. Yeah, I wouldn't have predicted a team to be 12-1, 13 games into the season either.
Right.
But I will go more. You look at what Houston still has left. Arizona coming up tomorrow, not an easy game, obviously. Arizona State in Tempe will not be an easy game. You go to Texas Tech. You go to Baylor. You host Iowa State a week from Saturday. You host Kansas, and that's only the Houston side of it. Arizona's got a murderer's row. They're going to Baylor Monday night. Iowa State's got a tough schedule. All these teams are backloaded. So I think it'll be more. I really do.
All right, Jeremy, looking forward to this one, and have a great call, Arizona and Houston.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
Jeremy Branham, he is the play-by-play man for the Houston Cougars. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions that are reported Craycroft and 22nd Street westbound, Kolb Road and Golf Links, Oracle and Auto Mall Drive, northbound I-19 near Continental, also Broadway east of Country Club at Broadway and Randolph Way. Some slowdowns westbound on Ina at Oracle and also westbound Valencia approaching and passing I-19. Small chance of showers this evening, 42 the overnight low, 65 tomorrow and sunny, 73 on Sunday and 70 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. It's time to say goodnight to that check engine light with the free AutoZone Fix Finder service. It'll help troubleshoot the likely cause of your light for free, so you can drive with peace of mind. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
AutoNation Honda Tucson at the Auto Mall is your premier automotive destination in town. Explore the new 2025 Honda models and extensive collection of pre-owned vehicles. Experience no-hassle financing and our no-haggle one-price selection. Visit AutoNation Honda Tucson at the Auto Mall today.
The jungle has moved to afternoon, so grab your best Tucson tuxedo and join us on the Jim Rome Show weekdays from 1 to 3 p.m. right here on the flagship home of your Arizona Wildcats, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats basketball radio broadcast. Two powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Our beautiful Arizona winter weather brings cooler overnight temperatures, which means some of you are now seeing your vehicle's low pressure warning light. Colder overnight temperatures can lower your tire's pressure just enough to trigger a warning light. But don't worry, many times the solution is simply adding the correct amount of air to your tires. Then get back to enjoying the fantastic winter weather. If adding the air doesn't do the trick, stop by any of our 14 area Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care locations for a free tire inspection and air pressure check. And if you need help with the low pressure warning light, we fix those too. Mention this radio offer for free installation with the purchase of any new tire pressure sensor. We'll install it in your wheel and rebalance your tires absolutely free. You'll find even more specials to get your car road trip ready at jackfurriers.com. So call ahead, make an appointment online, or just drop by. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Paid for by Hims & Hers Health. Hims & Hers Weight Loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions at 4hers.com apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded.
With Hers, you can access doctor-trusted weight loss plans, like compounded GLP-1 weekly injections with the same active ingredient as Ozempic and Wegovy. Based on pricing through Hers, save up to 91% per month with compounded semaglutide, the same active ingredient as the name brand drug. Get started at 4hers.com/start today. That's 4hers.com/start.
Great. Thanks, William. Good meeting.
What about me? Who said that? Me.
Gary, I can hear you, but...
Where are you? Guys, I'm right here. You can't see me because I'm being transparent.
You're being transparent?
Yep, and we should do it company-wide, starting with how much it costs to get a Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
This is freaking me out.
Other places don't put payments on their websites. Know why?
Too much trouble?
Embarrassed?
They want to get in your house and twist your arm?
Could be any of those. Could be none of them. But like polar bear fur, we're transparent.
So people can go to AlaskanAC.com and get an instant payment?
You got it. Now you're being transparent.
Hey, I'm fading away.
I like it. Nothing hidden. Just an honest instant payment on their new Grizzly from AlaskanAC.com. Whoa, now I'm becoming transparent.
Doesn't it feel good?
We're all transparent.
And good thing, that shirt Ron was wearing was ugly.
I'm still here. Get a transparent payment on a new Grizzly at AlaskanAC.com.
Hey, it's DK on the Sports Tip. Don't miss a minute of the best Arizona Wildcats coverage in town. Tell your Alexa device to play Wildcats Radio 1290. This is your home of Arizona football, men's basketball, and baseball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports. Paige Beckers rightfully gets all the headlines for UConn's basketball team. She's the potential #1 pick in this year's WNBA draft after all, but it was her backcourt mate, AZ Fudd, who shined brightest in the Huskies' latest victory, a 78-40 domination over St. John's. Fudd dropped a career-high 34 points and 8 threes in the win as the Huskies improved to 23-3 on the season. After missing 70 games through her first 3 years at UConn due to injuries, Fudd scored 30-plus for the first time since 2022, and nobody was happier than her teammate Beckers.
Yeah, it was really fun to watch just as a basketball fan. It almost felt like we were all just watching AZ have a night. It was amazing to watch it as a teammate, as a person who believes in her, just to continue to pour that confidence into her, to have more nights like these. That's the goal.
The Huskies responded from a tough loss against Tennessee with 2 impressive victories. Next up, a battle on Sunday against the defending champs, South Carolina. With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Erica Herskowitz on Westwood One.
Mornings can start feeling the same.
Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a Honey Buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at Wounded Warrior Project.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
It is over at Hillenbrand Stadium. Number 15 Arizona softball knocks off Cal State Fullerton. The Titans did get a run. Final score 10-1. Wildcats. So that'll be their only game tonight. As you had heard Cricket say, 15% chance of rain. I don't know that I guess it must have been more if they thought they felt they needed to move these games around today. But tomorrow against Ohio, and then Sunday against Cal State Fullerton to wrap up the Bear Down Fiesta. Aisa Silva gets the win. She went 3 innings, 1 run, 3 hits, 4 strikeouts. And then it was Saya Swain came in and pitched 2 scoreless innings, allowing 1 hit. She struck out 3. So a good showing for Miss Swain, who came over from Iowa State this year. Wildcats now with a record, what are they now? 8-1. 8-1 to start this season. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in the program. All right, we were talking about Kelvin Sampson, the head coach of the Houston Cougars, former head coach of the Washington State Cougars. Coached a lot of Cougars. Coached some Sooners in between.
So many Cougars. I mean,
so many
how many
Cougars?
I mean, BYU, right? But who else? I mean, there can't be that many
teams that are called Cougars.
Yeah, it can't be.
Yeah, there's probably more than you would think.
I bet you there's 4 times as many Wildcats as there are Cougars.
Ooh, well, we might have to look that up at some point. That would be very interesting. I have no idea. We're talking just Division I, right? We're not going,
right. Yeah.
We're not going into the dregs of 2 and 3 and all of that. But yeah. Let's hear what Kelvin Sampson had to say about the legacy that is University of Arizona basketball.
Hey, Kelvin. Arizona obviously has had a history of success. Just being around the game for a long time, for you personally, what kind of comes to mind when you think about just the program of Arizona and the fact that here comes another really good program into the conference that's already one of the best conferences, if not the best conference in the entire country?
Well, I thought about that a year ago when they came into the league. I knew, it's kind of like getting, anytime a good team comes into the league, I'm sure a lot of the coaches in this league probably thought the same thing when we came into the league. But I go way back with Arizona. I have I think, somewhat of a special relationship with them. We took over a tough situation in Pullman at Washington State, and that was about the time when Coach Lute Olson was getting the basketball program going at Arizona, and he created a monster. It saddens me that there's a generation of kids that will never know what Arizona basketball was with Lute. I was there with Sean Elliott, Steve Kerr, I think it was Anthony Cook, Tom Tolbert, Craig McMillan, Khalid Reeves, Damon Stoudemire, Chris Mills. They were the program. I mean, they set the bar. UCLA had the name, but Arizona had the program. They were the preeminent program on the West Coast. They were the best program in the West. I didn't dare strive to be like them. I just wanted to get where we could compete with them. They were so far ahead of. There was only a few teams in the Pac-10 at the time. Mike Montgomery was at Stanford. Of course, UCLA was always good. But there weren't many programs that could touch Arizona for a long, long time. They had great players. They had a great coach. But I think that separated them, that made them so different than any other West Coast school, was their fans. It was like being at a Big Ten school fan-wise. Where most of the Pac-10 schools struggled to get fans to the game, not Arizona. They have this so many traditions down there. But a lot of the coaches in the league may not know the history of Arizona, but I do. The other thing I remember was how nice Lute and Bobby Olson were to Karen and I. Now, we weren't very good. We most of the games with Arizona, we were never around them. We just weren't good enough. But through it all, Luke was always nice. And I get, well, he beat you by 50 every game. Everybody, no, it wasn't that. He was just a nice man. And Bobby Olson was a class lady. They showed Karen and I how to be professional. When I was 31 years old when I was named the head coach, which tells you a little bit about the program. It's not that I accomplished something. It was just, my first contract at Washington State, I signed a 2-year deal for $82,000. That's $41,000 a year. And I'm sure they thought that'll give them time to go hire a real coach. Because I certainly didn't deserve to be a head coach in the Pac-10. I was just in the right place at the right time. And going against guys like Coach Olson at Arizona, Coach Miller at Oregon State. Oregon State could play with them when Gary Payton was there. Matter of fact, they beat Arizona when Gary Payton was there. But Arizona, I've just always respected Arizona because they were the program. When I started out coaching, they were our Duke, they were our North Carolina, they were our Kentucky. That's the level that's the shelf that they were on. And there were so many hard lessons I had to learn as a coach. It wasn't just Arizona beat us; everybody beat us. I had a year where we lost 18 in a row. If in today's climate, with all the platforms for cynicism and negativity and all that stuff that goes on now, I'm sure I would have been fired after my third year, and probably rightly so. We lost 18 in a row. But I have fond memories of Coach Olson and Bobby, and always great respect for Arizona basketball.
2 years, $82,000.
Well, again, this was
holy mackerel.
Yeah, 1987.
That's nuts. The director of ops for college teams make more money than that now. Holy mackerel! I would have never thought that would. Even come on. Like you'd think that he was making more money than that even in 1987. That's crazy. Holy, that blows my mind. Great, obviously great respect for this program and the history of this program and Lute Olson and everything that he did to put this program on the map. And like he said, they were our Duke, our North Carolina out here on the West Coast. But man,
I was there for all
$82,000.
I was there for all of that, right? And my memory, even through my teen years and into my early 20s, was just how Coach Kelvin Sampson was the same as what he described Lute as being. He always came off as one of the more classy. Now, you've seen more recently maybe some of his practices at Houston. Clearly, he's a no-nonsense, this is what we're doing, and we're going to do it as tougher and better than anybody in the country does. But when he speaks, DK, he's always come off as a very, kind-hearted person. He just seems like such a genuine human being, and that was a rough time. I mean, the Cougars, I think, lost 28 consecutive games to Arizona. He only won one game in his 2 years as assistant, 7 years as a head coach. He only won one game against the Wildcats, and that was an overtime game in Pullman. But again, I mean, Arizona was beating everybody by 50 during that stretch. They had, I think, 3 or 4 17-1 records during the season. But it's incredible to me what he's done with the Cougars. We know about Phi Slama Jama. We know about the history that program has had. But he's turned them, DK, from a team that was just tossed aside. You wouldn't even think of the Houston Cougars 15 years ago. And now, I mean, it's been, a 7-8 year stretch where Houston is one of the top 5 teams and programs in the country year in, year out. Just unbelievably impressive what he's done out there.
It is. You think Indiana wouldn't like to have him back right now?
Indiana is a whole nother conversation. They got a lot of trouble. They're trying to find somebody right now as we speak.
Yep, they are trying to do that. Cricket is back with us now, and her camera's working. That's the first time in 3 days I think she's actually come in here, and her camera has been ready to go.
Well, you showed her how to do the happy hands.
The happy hands.
Yeah.
Stick them up.
Stick them up hands.
Stick them up.
It's kind of like jazz hands. But...
jazz hands. There
Yeah.
you go. All right. Cricket is always, every Friday, here to tell you about everything that's happening around southern Arizona. Go.
Hey, do you guys know that today it's a big birthday? It's Arizona.
Is it Arizona or Arizona's birthday?
Yeah.
The state of Arizona's birthday.
So
yes,
happy birthday to Arizona. 113.
How old are we? 113?
A young 113.
All right.
So happy birthday to Arizona.
Still kicking.
Still kicking, man. So for some events this weekend, maybe if you're single, ready to mingle, tonight there's an Valentine's Day party. A bunch of singles just get together and mingle from 6 to 9 tonight.
Do you have to wear like brown or black, or how's that work?
It doesn't state, but it's at the Voltron Brewing on Tool Avenue.
Wait, Voltron
Brewing?
on Tool?
Yeah, on Tool Avenue.
Trying to remember where that is.
I believe it's 660 Tool. Sorry, I didn't write down the address. And a Moulin Rouge sing-along tonight at the Loft Cinema. Tomorrow night at the Loft, the Rocky Horror Picture Show again at the Loft Cinema on Speedway. Hey, maybe some fun for the kids tomorrow. Some STEM activities tomorrow at the Tucson Museums, or the Children's Museum Tucson, on 6th Avenue, 9 a.m. till 1 p.m., and you could pay what you want for admission. And then this is kind of a big day tomorrow. It's Give Kids a Smile Day tomorrow. It is no-cost dental care for school-aged kids, 8 a.m. till 2 p.m. at the Pima Community College West Campus. TucsonKid.com for details.
Do you know what Galentine's Day means? Cricket?
Yeah, I thought it was something. I thought it was just for single girls, but I heard someone talking about it on the news saying, leave your husbands and boyfriends at home and go out with the girls.
Yeah, it started on Parks and Rec.
Yeah,
and
I heard that.
Yeah, it was Amy Poehler's character. This must have been 12 or 15 years ago. And it was the day before Valentine's Day, in which she and all of her girlfriends, they went out and just had fun together. So Galentine's Day.
There
you go.
I always thought it was just for singles, but I learned it's for anyone.
So it's
anyone can celebrate.
Yeah, married, whatever. Boyfriends, all the ladies can get together and have fun on their own.
Yeah, you don't
and
have
talk
to
about their man.
It's like a venting session.
Exactly. Well, my man.
Oh,
did
yeah,
this.
girl.
Your man, what? Your man did what?
Exactly.
All right, Cricket, have a great weekend.
You too.
She's getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with the traffic and weather.
And from the Auto Nation, Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions that are reported northbound I-19 near Continental, Broadway east of Country Club at Randolph Way. Oracle and Auto Mall Drive, some pretty heavy northbound backups on Oracle at Auto Mall Drive. Also busy traffic westbound Ina at Oracle and on westbound Valencia approaching and passing I-19. Tiny chance of showers this evening, 42. The overnight low, 65. Sunny tomorrow, 73 on Sunday and 70 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's knows that free is just better. That's why My Lowe's Rewards is free to join and lets you unlock member-only deals, earn points towards My Lowe's money, and more. Join for free today. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms, subject to change.
Deep three is good, and the Cats are on top. Put up a three-pointer that'll count if it falls, and it ties!
Do you believe in McHale magic? Every voice matters. Every roar matters. And when your Wildcats take the floor against top 25 Big 12 opponents, you make the difference. McHale Center is the place to be, and the time is now to experience the high-flying action of Arizona basketball. Don't wait and lock in your tickets today by calling 520-621-2287 or by visiting ArizonaWildcats.com. Bear down. Go Cats!
Hey, man. Yeah, it's me, your furnace, man. Hey, can I get a light here, man? I know we live in Arizona, so I understand I'm not, like as cool as your air conditioner. But I still need a tune-up at least once a year, man. So get the best in town, man. Goodfellas AC, bro. Hey, anybody smell that, man? I swear it wasn't me. Okay, it was me.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Honey, our yard looks like a jungle. It's full of weeds, and the neighbors are complaining,
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using just doesn't work. Not to mention, I don't have the time.
It's not just the weeds. I'm also seeing ants and the spider, a scorpion. I saw a scorpion, and I think there's a pack rat living in the garage.
I get it.
It's scary.
I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today and get rid of them all.
You're the best, honey.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
We all know the Valentine's Day go-to gifts are flowers, chocolates, maybe even perfume. But what about something that will truly last and protect your loved ones along the way? I'm talking about life insurance. I called SelectQuote to secure our coverage and couldn't believe how easy and affordable it was. I'm 40, and my $500,000 policy was only $16 a month. My husband's also 40, and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. And with their same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. With monthly payments less than the cost of a dozen roses, this Valentine's Day is the perfect time to make sure your family is protected.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-418-3366 or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-418-3366. 1-800-418-3366. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
The La Fiesta de los Vaqueros Tucson Rodeo returns for its 100th anniversary, February 15th through 23rd.
We love the food, we love the beer, we love the cowboys.
It's fantastic. It's 100 years.
No way we're missing it.
We'll be here for sure.
There's no better place to be.
Don't miss the Boots in the Dirt Music Festival with Aaron Watson, Josh Ward, and more. Live in concert Wednesday, February 19th. Celebrate 100 years of tradition at La Fiesta de los Vaqueros Tucson Rodeo. Get your tickets today at 520-741-2233 or TucsonRodeo.com.
Don't miss out on any of the action.
Knocked away and grabbed by Jaden Bradley. On the run to the bucket, slam it home.
As the University of Arizona takes on the Big 12 Conference.
Bounce back to Basar. Drives to the bucket and slams it home. Oh, he took off, Brian. Outside the lane. How did he dunk that? Love, mid-court. Shot is up. Good. Love has hit a three. We're going to overtime.
You're listening to the flagship home of Arizona Wildcats Athletics. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Marco Polo. Hoping to find new customers online can feel like playing Marco Polo in the dark.
Plumber. Right here. Plumber. Right here.
Let Cumulus Boost help spotlight your business. Boost your website. Boost your findability. Boost your reputation. Boost your business. Get a boost. Get found. Get on the map. Contact us today at cumulusboost.com.
This is Zach Gelb with the Sports Minute. Coming off the 2024 NFL season, here are my top 5 quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes is still in the number 1 spot and gets the benefit of the doubt even after the worst game of his career in the Super Bowl. The league MVP Josh Allen is 2, followed by the lethal two-way threat Lamar Jackson coming in at 3. Then Joe Burrow, who led the NFL in passing yards and passing touchdowns, is in the 4th spot. And rounding up the top 5 is the Super Bowl 59 MVP Jalen Hurts. I'm Zach Gelb.
O'Reilly.
You need parts? O'Reilly Auto Parts has parts. Need them fast? We've got fast. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Product availability. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Final segment of this week here. DK on the Sports Tip. Time now for our Desert Diamond Casino replay. Desert Diamond Casino is America's best, or Arizona's, I should say, not America's, but Arizona's best bet. Happy birthday, Arizona. All right. DK with TL is going to be fire tomorrow. Fire. As I peppered the head coach today with a bunch of tough questions. One of them was concerning Anthony Dell'Orso, who played 15 minutes in the game Tuesday night at Kansas State. And what was it, J-Dub, like 2 minutes in the second half, I think was what you said?
Not many, DK, not many.
And the reasoning we thought was because, again, he had some struggles defensively, and largely that has been the reason that Anthony Dell'Orso has gotten pulled out of games, is that he's not necessarily the most fleet at foot when it comes to things at the defensive end of the floor. Now, I haven't had a chance to go back and watch much of the 13 minutes that he played. I'm going to do that tonight while I prep for the show in the morning, just to kind of see how that all went down. But he was obviously having some success at the offensive end of the floor. And in my mind, I thought he was being the most aggressive to the basket of the players on offense in the initial portions of that game Tuesday night. When everybody else was just settling to jack up three-point shots, at least Anthony was trying to work his way and get some points at the rim. And so one of the things that I asked, or the point of my question today to Tommy Lloyd was, how do you gauge that? You've got this player who right now is your only aggressive offensive guy trying to get you shots at the bucket, but you take him out maybe because he's not doing as well at the defensive end of the floor. So here's how that question went to Tommy Lloyd, and the answer was not exactly what I think any of us expected.
Tommy, you didn't give Delly a whole lot of minutes in the second half. How do you gauge when you've got a player like him that's giving you some aggressiveness at the offensive end, but at the same time maybe is struggling at the defensive end?
He's got to play better, and Delly knows that. We've talked about it. We need Delly shooting. We need Delly to be a catch and shoot player. I don't need Delly playmaking as much. I need Delly. I think one of the best things he can give us is an influx of shooting, and he has done that in stretches, and now. He's at a pivotal moment in his career. As a developing player, you're at a higher level. The stakes are high. You got to figure out what you got to do to be effective and thrive at this level. And Delly can really shoot the ball. And obviously, shooting isn't one of our strengths overall as a team. It's one of his. Please give us more shooting.
So how about that? It had nothing to do with the defense that Anthony was playing. It's the fact that he seems to be reluctant to shoot the basketball. And part of that might be because he's struggled to shoot the ball from distance recently for the University of Arizona. I think he's missed like his last 11 three-point shots or something of that nature, if I'm not mistaken. So he might be a little gun-shy right now. But Tommy's like, look, bro, you're one of the few guys on this team that we can depend on shooting the basketball from distance, and you need to do that. It's got nothing to do with the defense. You need to shoot the basketball.
6 for 9 versus Colorado.
Yeah.
And, nothing since in the last 5 games.
0 for 10 since then.
You know, it does make perfect sense, though, if you think of it in these terms. The best shooter, especially spot-up jump shooter, catch-and-shoot shooter on the team is Anthony Delorso. So when he's on the court, who else is going to be out there shooting? Not many. The other guys, DK, are primed to drive the ball and kick to shooters. So when coach doesn't want him maybe taking the role of one of those other guys because they may be better at it.
Yeah. Iowa State, he was 0 for 3. Arizona State, he was 0 for 4. BYU, he was 0 for 2. Did not take a three-point shot at all in the game against Texas Tech.
I guess my point is that...
And one against Kansas State.
My point being is that if you're trying to get the ball inside, if you're trying to score at the rim from drives from guards, and if you're trying to get your bigs to be able to score on the block, the best way to do that is to stretch the defense out by having people that they have to account for, players that are knockdown shooters. And we talked about that in the postgame. We really liked Anthony Delorso's aggressiveness. It seemed like he was really making a concerted effort to get inside of the three-point line. But on this team, it makes sense what Coach said there, in that if he's doing that, is he kicking to one of the guys who isn't a great spot-up jump shooter from a catch-and-shoot scenario? So it's a role situation, DK. It's whatever role suits you best to give the team the best chance to win games. He is obviously trying to show that he can do that as well. And I'm not standing here saying, Delorso should never drive. I think with this roster, they have limited shooting potential. There aren't a lot of guys who are going to shoot at a high percentage on a regular basis. There are a lot of hot and cold guys on this team. He's one of those guys who traditionally can knock down an open shot. So what I'm saying is if he's out there ready in the catch and shoot position with the shooting pocket ready, it puts a lot more pressure on the defense than it does having even guys like JB, who's turned into a very good outside shooter. Caleb, hot and cold. We've seen Carter Bryant, hot and cold. We've also seen the entire team, DK, even the bigs who shoot threes, make some, but most games don't. So having Delorso out there as a threat for the defense to have to account for, I think is probably the best role for him right now.
All right, that is your Desert Diamond Casino replay for today, brought to you by the Desert Diamond Casino. It is Arizona's best bet. All right, let's take John. You're on DK on the Sports Tip.
How you guys doing tonight?
Good, John.
So here's my take. What brand? We played Houston, in the Sweet 16 a couple years ago?
Correct.
And so they should have been the different team than Villanova was, right? They were the better team all year. But what they did was they punched us in the mouth. And stylistically, Houston took it to us and our style of basketball. But it looks like we're tougher now. And that's kind of my approach to tomorrow's game is if we're nonchalant with the ball around the perimeter, we're going to get beat. If they're tougher than us and they're up in our grill and we don't have an answer for punching them back, we're going to get beat. But what I've noticed about our style of basketball this year is that our guard play especially has gotten more physical than it was 2-3 years ago. And I have to credit Tommy for that because I think he saw that your Kirk Creases just couldn't go toe-to-toe with Houston's physicality.
Right.
So if we can match their physicality, we're going to win the game tomorrow. If we can't, if they out-rebound us and they out-tough us and they beat us to loose balls, they're going to win the game tomorrow. But, as a U of A fan, these are the games that we want. And, this Big 12 conference has set us up to be tough in the tournament, and for that, I'm grateful.
Awesome, John. Hey, we appreciate your call. Thank you.
See you guys.
Bear down, John.
All right. John in Tucson. All right, let's give you your BetMGM Network top play for today. And it's brought to you locally by Oral Ford at 3950 West Highway 77 in Oracle.
I'm PJ Glasser here to help you beat the books with the BetMGM Network. I like Texas A&M to win the national championship at 40-1. The Aggies have been red hot recently, winning 4 games in a row, and they have been shutting teams down. Currently, Texas A&M is second in points allowed in the best conference in college basketball. They are also the best offensive rebounding team in the country. Watch out for the Aggies. I'm PJ Glasser. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today.
How about that? Texas A&M to win the NCAA men's basketball title. We haven't heard a lot of talk about Texas A&M. I guess they've just kind of been quietly one of the best teams, though, in the SEC. You know, we talk about Kentucky and we talk about Auburn, and obviously Auburn and Alabama are playing tomorrow, 1-2. First time the Iron Bowl's been that game, but Texas A&M is right there, plus 4,000. That means if you bet $12.90 on Texas A&M to win the national title, you're going to take home, and they do it, you're going to take home $516.
Yeah, their losses this year are to UCF, Oregon, Alabama, and Kentucky. Also Texas.
That's something. Right now, Ryan Horvat from the BetMGM Network, he's saying he's got Auburn to make the Final Four. Right now, that's at minus 143. He also has St. John's to make the Final Four this year. So that's Ryan Horvat. He's on in the mornings. Duke to win the NCAA title
from
right
New York?
now. Ryan, he probably is, Ryan Horvat. I don't know where he's from. I'll have to look into that, though. Duke to win the NCAA championship right now is plus 450. Auburn is plus 400. U of A is plus 4,000. So they're on that same line with Texas A&M to win the NCAA title. Plus 4,000. There you go.
He's from Overland Park, Kansas.
Oh, okay. Oh, Kansas guy.
Yeah.
There you go. Those are your top plays from BetMGM Network, brought to you locally by Oral Ford at 3950 West Highway 77 in Oracle.
Back to John's point real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly what's maybe forgotten is that they saw TCU in that same NCAA tournament, right? And that was the overtime game where Mathurin hit the shot. Another very, very physical Big 12 team. Houston obviously wasn't even in the Big 12 at the time, but I couldn't agree more. I think if you look at the roster construction right now of the Arizona Wildcats, this predated their decision to go to the Big 12. This is before the Pac-12 dissolved. That game against Houston and the games I think against UCLA Bruins as well during that stretch really maybe kickstarted this idea of having strong physical guards who are good defenders, and their primary focus is trying to get the ball in the paint, DK, because if you settle for jump shots, just like caller John just said, against a team like the Houston Cougars tomorrow, if you decide that it's a little too tough, DK, to get in there, it takes a little bit too much effort to get in the paint like it normally would, I'm just going to go ahead and settle for these 20-footers. That's a recipe for disaster. So play your normal game, be strong with the ball, take it to them.
All right, that's going to wrap up our show. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning, 8:30, Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. For Cricket, for J-Dub, I'm David Kelly. Have a great evening, everybody.
From the Auto Nation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Collisions reported northbound Oracle at Auto Mall Drive, some slowing there, and Broadway east of Country Club at Randolph Way. Busy traffic on westbound Ina at Oracle, westbound on Ajo at Mission, and also westbound Valencia approaching and passing I-19. Tiny chance of showers this evening, 42 the overnight low, 65 sunny tomorrow, and 69 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's knows that with job site delivery as soon as same day, you can get what you need without losing valuable time. They help you save. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes for same-day delivery. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See lowes.com/same-day delivery for details.
Great. Thanks, William. Good meeting.
What about me? Who said that? Me.
Gary, I can hear you, but...
Where are you? Guys, I'm right here. You can't see me because I'm being transparent.
You're being transparent?
Yep, and we should do it company-wide, starting with how much it costs to get a Grizzly from Alaskan AC. This is freaking me out. Other places don't put payments on their websites. Know why?
Too much trouble?
Embarrassed?
They want to get in your house and twist your arm?
Could be any of those. Could be none of them. But like polar bear fur, we're transparent.
So people can go to AlaskanAC.com and get an instant payment?
You got it. Now you're being transparent.
Hey, I'm fading away.
I like it. Nothing hidden. Just an honest instant payment on their new Grizzly from AlaskanAC.com. Whoa, now I'm becoming transparent.